San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime year.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
What's up, San Diego? And a happy Tuesday to everybody out there in America's finest city. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Didn't think I was going to get that part right. It's a Tuesday today, not a Monday. Feels like a Monday. Not really. What a weekend we had in the sports world for San Diego, huh? Especially for just like the Padres in general. Really remarkable weekend. I mean, I forgot that yesterday was Monday. I was working so diligently at getting ready for this show today with all the moves that happened over the weekend, with different features that we want to talk about. I mean, just so much to break down. Yes, it rained yesterday. Man, did it rain last night? Holy cow. But everything that the Padres did this weekend, they kind of solidified the roster. They solidified the competition. They wanted to add a bat. They wanted to add an arm. And you know what? They added a handful of those things. I like where we're at right now when it comes to the Padres roster. And we're going to look at this roster a couple of different times. But right now, if I have updated my sheet correctly, and I think I have, you got about 70 guys in camp and 40 on the 40-man roster. You got a lot of non-roster invitees battling for spots, and you have a lot of players on this 40-man roster, on this potential 26-man roster that are out of options. And we're going to take a deeper dive into the roster, but I tell you what, I mean, you look at some of the signings that the Padres have made. Are they super sexy signings, right? Guaranteed to be good player signings? No. But you know what they are? They're signings that bring in players that have proven that they can play at a big league level. They all have question marks, but it brings competition. And they're bringing in players that will increase competition. I mean, you look just at the starting pitching market, the starting pitching group now. As of players that are on your 40-man roster, remember, you have to be on the 40-man roster to make the club. Here are the players on your 40-man roster in the starting rotation now. Nick Pivetta, Michael King, Joe Musgrove, Randy Vasquez, Germán Márquez, J.P. Sears, Matt Waldron, Miguel Mendez, Yu Darvish, who's still on the 40-man roster. I know A.J. Preller talked about that yesterday and what's going on with Yu Darvish. That still remains to be seen. He's currently taking up a 40-man spot, but those are your players on the 40-man roster as part of your starting rotation. Nick Pivetta, Randy Vasquez, Matt Waldron, all out of options. Those guys have to make the team, otherwise they get sent elsewhere. Now, obviously, Nick Pivetta is making the team, but you're looking at a guy like Randy Vasquez, and you're looking at a guy like Matt Waldron. I mean, they both have to make the team out of camp to remain part of this organization. That's something to be factored into this. Then you talk about the non-roster invitees that need to be added to a 40-man roster in order to make a team. That means you got to cut somebody. And there's 40 people on this roster already. Sean Boyle, Evan Fitterer, Marco Gonzalez, Jagger Haynes, Tristan McKenzie, Jackson Wolf, Walker Buehler. Now, I don't know the details on Walker Buehler in terms of options left. I would imagine he doesn't have any. But Marco Gonzalez and Tristan McKenzie are two guys that don't have any options left either. So those are two other pitchers you would have to keep on the 26-man roster in order to keep him part of the organization. Then you got the Griffin Canning situation. They signed Griffin Canning over the weekend. It doesn't sound like he's going to be ready until May, but that's another arm. I mean, so you have a handful of players and a big group just competing. And then we're just talking about the starting rotation right now. Nick Pivetta, Michael King, Joe Musgrove, Randy Vasquez, Germán Márquez, who's on the 40-man, by the way. They added him to on the 40-man roster. He signed a major league deal. Walker Buehler signed a minor league deal. J.P. Sears, Matt Waldron, Miguel Mendez, Yu Darvish. That's 9 players on the 40-man. Sean Boyle makes 10. Fitterer, 11. Gonzalez, 12. Haynes, McKenzie, Wolf, Buehler. You got 14, 15 players competing for a starting spot. Now, that being said, Yu Darvish will not be part of that conversation in terms of making an impact this season. Griffin Canning's also on that list. That's 15 players competing for a pitching staff, competing for a starting spot in the rotation. And by the way, Pivetta, King, and Musgrove aren't going anywhere. So now you got about 12 players battling for 2 spots. And right now, Randy Vasquez has that number 4 spot as expected to be part of the rotation, and he's out of options. So now you really have 11 guys, maybe 10 guys battling for 1 spot on the roster unless one of these players ends up going to the bullpen. This is competition. This is what you love to see at camp, because you're going to get veteran players battling to make a living, battling to be on an MLB team, battling to be on the San Diego Padres. And there's a lot of names on that list. All of them come with some type of con, right? Some type of question mark. Griffin Canning, can he come back from the Achilles injury that he had suffered? He's pitching a little bit, but he's not going to be ready until May. Can Walker Buehler, who signed last night to a minor league deal, get back to close to what he was in Los Angeles? I mean, he actually didn't pitch that poorly in his final couple of outings in Philadelphia, but he's battling for a spot. You got guys like, again, what do you get out of Germán Márquez? I mean, Germán Márquez has not been what he was since Tommy John surgery, but I tell you what, they signed him to a big league deal and put him on the 40-man roster, and Bud Black is part of the organization again. He obviously knows something. He just spent a lot of time with Germán Márquez. I mean, Germán Márquez was an all-star in 2021. One of the best pitchers in the league. The upside on all of these players is extremely high. And now there's a battle to see who makes the starting rotation. And that's just the starting rotation. And for those of you that are watching on YouTube, we got what the look of what this potential lineup and what this potential roster could look like. And you see a lot of pink on there. Those are players that do not have options left, which means they have to make the 26-man roster in order to stay in the organization. It's not like you can stockpile these guys down in AAA El Paso. You can with a couple, but you can't with all of them. That's just the starting rotation. You can look at the bullpen. The bullpen's going to be a mess too. I mean, a lot of great players. And here's the deal. Usually in spring training, it starts to play itself out, right? Like there's going to be injuries. There's going to be setbacks. There's going to be guys on the injured list at some point in time during camp that you're going to have to overcome with this roster and the depth that you have now acquired for this team. But if you look at it, the top half, that's the projected 26-man roster as I see it right now, based on the fact that those guys are on the 40-man roster and the other players are not, and they got to make hay. But here's the deal. You look at some of the options, there's a couple players on there that you could theoretically cut to make room for someone that's battling for a spot. We haven't even talked about the bats yet. Nick Castellanos, I'm going to talk about him in just a little bit. I mentioned him on Saturday. I had a special video on Saturday about the signing of Nick Castellanos. Look, I wasn't a big believer in that on Friday. I started to come around a little bit and talk myself into the fact that Nick Castellanos really doesn't have any leverage right now. I mean, in the past, you would have the leverage of, yeah, go ahead, try to cut me. You owe me $20 million. You ain't paying him anything. And he knows that if he doesn't work out after everything that was said about him in an article in The Athletic, if it doesn't work out here in San Diego quickly, I mean, he's not going to be able to find a landing spot. He knows he's got to buy in. And based on what all the players have said about Nick Castellanos and what the organization has said in their meetings with him, I like the move now. I wasn't super in on Friday, but I tell you what, he's in a position now where he has to adapt to the organization. You have to adapt to the organization. And the fact that you don't have to pay him a lot, he knows that he has to be on the best behavior. And the other thing, too, is I didn't really fully understand the relationship he had with Manny Machado. I mean, Manny obviously said to somebody over there, that organization, that he wants this guy part of the team. Because if Manny thought he was bad news, he wouldn't be on this team. So he said all the right things. The Padres have said all the right things. Now it's an opportunity for Nick Castellanos. I've started to buy into this a little bit more. At first, I was like, I don't know if you could bring in a player like with this much baggage, but I tell you what, the more that comes out in Philly with how they're running their organization, the more you're like, okay, maybe getting Nick Castellanos out of that situation would be better. I mean, you were worried about, like, if you take him out of the lineup, is he going to complain this, that, and the other? I mean, he's not in a position to complain anymore. He can't freak out about getting replaced defensively late. He's got a new lease on life now in San Diego. And the conversation that has now been talked about when it comes to Nick Castellanos and the Padres was, hey, look, we see you as a DH. We see you as a first baseman, maybe a little bit, in the outfield. We'll see how it goes. But right now, you're not guaranteed a spot. I think that goes a long way. And he wants to be on a team that's a winning team. And there's not a lot of winning teams that are willing to take the risk on a guy like Nick Castellanos. The Padres are in a position where they can. We'll talk about Nick Castellanos later on in the show. I said my thoughts on him on Saturday. Again, Friday wasn't really buying in, but the more you look at what has happened since that with what has happened in Philly and the conversations in Philly, I mean, I think Nick Castellanos kind of fits the Padres a lot more than he fits the Philadelphia Phillies right now. I mean, Bryce Harper's like upset with their front office with the way that he's being treated. I mean, you got the front office over there in Philly telling Bryce Harper he's not elite anymore. I mean, that they got their own problems over there. Maybe a different environment will help Nick Castellanos, and I don't think he's going to terrorize the clubhouse enough. Even if it's worst case scenario, it doesn't work out. I don't think he's going to have that big of an impact now based on the conversations that the players have had about him, based on the conversations that the front office has had about him. I can't imagine him doing irreparable damage to the Padres clubhouse on his way out. I don't see that. And that is the worst case scenario at this point. Padres signed Ty France over the weekend as well. That's another name that's been added to this team. That's another player that doesn't have any options left and is a non-roster invite that has to make the team. Jose Miranda. And did we forget about Jose Miranda? I forgot about Jose Miranda. Jose Miranda is part of this organization too. I mean, you look at some of the battles in the infield right now. Mason McCoy, Will Wagner, they're on the 40-man roster. Those are players that have options. They can start in the minor leagues. Ty France, Jose Miranda, they can't. They have to make the team. Miguel Andujar is the guy that would have to make the team. Luis Camposano is the guy that had to make the team. Bryce Johnson is the guy that would have to make the team. Sungmoon Song, he's got options. I mean, you could theoretically start him down in El Paso. I mean, there's just so many options for the Padres right now when it comes to bats, with the addition of Andujar, with the addition of Nick Castellanos, now with Ty France trying to be part of this team as well. It's a lot of big decisions that need to be made with this team. But the good news is they got 6 weeks to figure out who can play and who can't, who's going to rise to the occasion and who's not, who's going to help this team and who's going to be shipped off and not make that 26-man roster. And there's some players that are currently on this team that might be starting in AAA or might be starting with a different organization, because there's a lot of pink on that sheet in front of you if you're watching on YouTube. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We're just getting started here on the Braden Surprenant Show, but, I mean, you got so much news, and we haven't even talked about the other stuff. I mean, you had John Seidler, Eric Grupner meet with the media over the weekend. We got all of that to break down. By the way, we're 14 minutes into the show. I haven't even announced yet. Now everybody knows this information. AJ Preller finally got his contract extension. I mean, so much happened this weekend in just the Padres. We got a long show planned for you. You got to look at the rotation battle now. I mean, Randy Vasquez was penciled in to be the number 4 starter. He's out of options. Is he going to get beat out by Walker Buehler and Germán Márquez? I mean, big decisions loom in the starting rotation. Can Nick Castellanos get back to some of the form that he was before Philadelphia, or at least the beginning couple of years of Philadelphia? That's a conversation to have later on in the show. Can Ty France play his way onto this team? I mean, the depth of this team is a lot better than it was on Friday. And even then, I have to say, like, I'm not going to sit here and say these moves are all like franchise-defining, changing moves, because every one of these moves come with a major question mark. A major question mark. And we're going to be breaking down the roster later on. We're going to be talking about, where this lineup fits together, how you build out your bench, what's more valuable in a bench piece. Can Sungmoon Song be a guy that's a 4th outfielder so you could get Ty France on the team? I mean, there's so many question marks for this team now and so many storylines to follow. And you know what? AJ Preller, again, with the confines of what he has to work with, has put together a roster that is going to breed competition because these players want to be on a team that wins. And you got a bunch of guys that are trying to either resurrect their career, continue their career, or prove that they can get back to what they used to be. Nick Castellanos is one of those players. Germán Márquez is one of those players. Walker Buehler is one of those players. They all have some type of massive, noticeable elephant in the room negative. Either it be injuries or some of the baggage in their old teams that they used to play on, but they all still have upside. They're all way younger than the players that they have brought in the last couple years. That's the other thing. I mean, you look at these moves. Again, you're taking a risk with all of these players. But I tell you what, I would much rather take a risk on Nick Castellanos than Yuli Gurriel. I would much rather take a risk on Ty France than Jason Hayward. I would much rather take a risk on the pitching of Walker Buehler and Germán Márquez and even a guy like Tristan McKenzie and Marco Gonzalez over any type of player that's just hanging on for dear life at the end of their career. I'm telling you, I just, the moves add the depth. And again, I'm not going to keep saying it because apparently in this world, you can't change opinions. I didn't like the idea on Friday. I really didn't. But after the vetting process and seeing where Nick Castellanos is, and I said it on Friday, I said, unless Nick Castellanos does X, Y, Z, I don't think it's going to work here in San Diego. He has already started X and Y, and now it's time for him to go out and show that he could do Z. And if that's the case, then it works out. But I said it on Friday, as much as I didn't like potentially signing Nick Castellanos, I said if he changes and uses what happened in Philadelphia as a big changing point in his career and change the way that he is, the way he plays, I think it could work out. I said that on Friday. Did I not, Frank? I said that on Friday.
It's funny how when presented with new information, it's almost like someone's opinions can evolve. It's weird how that happens.
So weird. So weird. I'd love to know what those people's opinions on things are, but I digress. It's just, it comes with the territory. But there's so much to talk about with this team. We'll talk about AJ Preller getting his contract extension when we come back. But Padres, Nick Castellanos, Griffin Canning, Germán Márquez, Ty France, AJ Preller gets a contract extension. Walker Buehler last night signs to a minor league deal with an invite to spring training. So much Padres news, so much Padres talk. If you want to join us today, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Padres Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. So many moves to break down when it comes to the San Diego Padres. So many moves over the weekend, and mostly with the players, but also AJ Preller got his contract extension. I know a lot of the players were talking about that before it happens, and then they were doing it again after. I threw in a poll on the Braden Surprenant Show YouTube, and Frank, if you could replicate that as well on the 97.3 The Fan YouTube. Are the Padres in a better spot right now on February, what's today, the 17th? On February 17th, 2026 than they were on February 17th, 2025? Yes or no question? I think they are. I honestly think they are. I think they're in a way better spot because if you look at some of the veterans that the Padres brought in last year that they're taking a chance on compared to this year, I'm telling you, these guys are all way younger. Yes, they do have a downside to all of them, but I think the Padres are in a way better spot. I literally said I thought they were 2 weeks ago before they made all these moves. But you got a lot. You actually have depth on your bench. I mean, you have tough decisions that you have to make on the bench. You have tough decisions you got to make in starting rotation, the bullpen, and you got 6 weeks to show, and players got 6 weeks to show that they deserve to be a San Diego Padre in 2026. I mean, this is going to be must-watch spring training and must-covered spring training. I mean, we're going to have you cover the entire time for the next 6 weeks leading into opening day. There's no other place you're going to have to be than right here at 97 through the Fan. Bennett Woods, Braden Surprenant Show, Gwen and Chris, no better place than right here. This is exciting. I'm telling you, this is going to be exciting to watch how this team and this roster is put together. The storylines are great. I think they are. But you look at the roster, there's going to be a lot of tough decisions. And the thing is, they're going to play themselves out. But overall, I like all the moves that happened over the weekend. I think it adds depth. And as a coach, I love creating competition. You're going to get the best players. And you're going to get the best out of these guys when there's competition. I mean, you got guys that had the fight to get to the pros, that then got to a high level in the pros, that are now coming back and battling for spots. I mean, go in the past to 2021 and tell a Padres fan that Germán Márquez and Walker Buehler are going to be battling for the number 5 spot in the Padres rotation in 2026. A Padres fan would have said, you're crazy. I like all the moves. I like everything that happened over the weekend from a player standpoint. We got to talk about AJ Preller in a second, but Frank, this is a big weekend for the Padres. They added a lot of depth. Yes, every player comes with some concern, but when you add a lot of these guys, one of them is bound to make hay in spring training, just like Gavin Sheets did last year.
Yeah, there are too many guys here that have some sort of major league stability, and not major league stability from like 4 or 5 years ago when it comes to guys like Jason Hayward or Connor Joe or Yuli Gurriel. These are guys that have been successful recently. Now, I know Walker Buehler's been down for the last couple of years. Same thing with Tristan McKenzie. He's been down for the last couple of years. Castellanos is showing to be regressing, but he was never like a big superstar caliber player. He was always a good, solid, everyday starting player. But as far as your question before of are the Padres better off right at this moment than they were a year ago today, I would say absolutely. I think from all facets of the team, whether it be pitching depth, whether it be fielding depth, whether it be your front office, managerial moves, I think that they are better off today than they were last year.
I think they're way better off this year than they were last year for a lot of different reasons. I think the youth on top of it too. I mean, you look at the players that they brought in, they're in their early 30s. I mean, early 30s is not, I mean, you're not getting these guys in the prime of their career, but these are the parts of careers where guys can make adjustments and they can battle their way back to what, at least a fraction of what they were when they were in their prime. I mean, early 30s, you could still thrive. It's not like they're bringing in Nelson Cruz at age 40.
Yeah.
And Jason Hayward at like 38, however old he was last year. And Yuli Gurriel, 40 years old. I mean, that is reason for concern. But you got Ty France in his early 30s, and Nick Castellanos is 33, and Tristan McKenzie is in his early 30s, late 20s, early 30s. Walker Buehler's 31 years old. I mean, these are and Márquez is in his early 30s. I mean, there are players that still have stuff in the tank, right? They still have a lot to prove, and a lot of these guys are trying to show to Major League Baseball that they still belong at a high level. And the competition against each other is going to lead, in my opinion, to a very competitive roster. And I can't wait to see what this roster looks like when we are wherever we're at on opening day, announcing the opening day roster live before the Padres take on the Tigers. And I know this is a little crazy to get this hyped for a bunch of players that have a lot of concerns. But to me, the argument is, you've brought in so many of them to battle it out. I think you're going to hit on one. You've increased your odds of hitting on some of these guys like you did with Gavin Sheets last year. It's not like you only brought in one each and you're really hoping that they help out the team. You got multiple avenues that you can go to try to fill out this roster.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll throw the roster up on the screen again. I think I don't see guys like Ty France or Jose Miranda making the team, unfortunately, but a guy like Tristan McKenzie, I could possibly even see Walker Buehler maybe making the team. Ron Marinaccio's on the 40-man roster, but he's out of options. Logan Gillespie, as much as I like him, the Padres don't seem to like him as far as like him staying up for a cup of coffee and then coming back down. But I mean, it's going to be hard for a lot of guys who have roster invitee status to break into what looks like a pretty established roster right now. I think the only person, as far as the offensive players are concerned, that may or may not be able to break out, if anyone, I think it could possibly be Ty France for Bryce Johnson. That's the only scenario I could see. But even then, Bryce Johnson doesn't have any more options left.
Right. And the thing with Bryce Johnson to me is like as a fourth outfielder, he's a good piece to have because Miguel Andujar and Nick Castellanos are not great defensively. They're not. And I've always been a component of, you want your best 9 hitters in the lineup and you can figure out the defense. But even with that philosophy, you need somebody on the bench to play defense. So late in the game, you make the substitution and you can move guys around. And now you have good defensive players when you have a lead. And to me, a fourth outfielder can't be a guy like I don't necessarily know about Sungmoon Song being a fourth outfielder.
No.
And I know they're giving him reps out there, but if he's not going to be the fourth outfielder, that means somebody needs to be. It's not going to be Miguel Andujar or Gavin Sheets. You could put Nick Castellanos out there, but I really don't necessarily want to see a situation where Nick Castellanos is out there late in the game in the outfield. And so if you have a guy like Ty France or Jose Miranda, those are not outfield players. You need somebody to kind of fill that void. And right now, Bryce Johnson seems like the guy because he is out of options. And that's part of the game too. It's knowing who's out of options. Guys on the 40-man roster. I mean, if you're not on the 40-man roster, you're already behind the 8 ball because that means the Padres have to cut somebody else and ship them off to a different organization or hope that nobody wants them and they clear waivers. You can send them back down to the minor leagues. So it's a lot of interesting moves, but here's the thing. They don't need to make that decision now, and it's going to play itself out, and spring training is going to make it happen.
394 Ron in the chat. Yes, we do know that Nick Castellanos and Gavin Sheets are outfielders, but would you rather late in the game have Nick Castellanos or Gavin Sheets in, or would you rather have Bryce Johnson in? Right. I would rather have Bryce Johnson in that case.
For sure.
A defensive replacement.
Speed and stuff off the bench. I mean, you do need like an athletic player to be on the bench, right? I think it'd be more versatile that way. I mean, you bring in another guy like Ty France, and maybe you do it with Sungmoon Song, but I don't know. I don't know with Bryce John. I don't know with what you would do with the outfield. But again, they're difficult decisions that need to be made, and these guys have to make this team. They got to make the team, and they're gonna be battling in spring training. I honestly, whatever position you're looking at, you are looking at a battle. I mean, even we haven't even talked about the bullpen. I mean, what do you do with the bullpen? Do you save some of these starting pitchers that don't have options to make them a long reliever in the bullpen? Is Randy Vasquez? I mean, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and we got to take a break. AJ Preller got a contract extension. We'll tell you about it when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Padres Sports Station 97 The Fan. Braden Surprenant Show, broadcasting live for the Bill House Studios. We know how, alongside Frank Marchese. Got a lot to talk about in the Padres world today. I mean, so many. We planned the show all weekend and then had to redo it again on Sunday when they signed Walker Buehler, and then have to, get more and more sound coming from Peoria with Craig Stammen talking about position playing and all that other, and where guys fit in. I mean, there's so much to discuss today on the Braden Surprenant Show. And we want you guys to get involved. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Our YouTube poll question of the day: are the Padres better off right now than they were a year ago? Yes or no? I think a lot of people are saying yes to that at this point in time. But I think the Padres are in a really good spot. I really do. I think they're in a really good spot. I think they brought in a lot of depth pieces now that are battling for spots on the team. I think that overall breeds competition and overall makes this team a lot better of a team than it was just on Friday, with experienced veteran players still in their younger years. I mean, early 30s is still relatively young. I mean, it seems really old when it comes to baseball, but these are guys that can still compete at a high level. So they got depth now, and I'm looking forward to seeing what this team does. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. I do want to mention to make sure to follow us on social media at @B_SURP, at @BSURP. I know we got 33 of you watching on the Braden Surprenant Show channel. We got a lot of information. We got a lot of extra videos on there. I went on there over the weekend and put out a reaction video to Nick Castellanos signing with the Padres. If you haven't subscribed to it already, to be the first one to be notified when we post new videos, at @B_SURP, youtube.com/@symbol B_SURP, at BSURP. Jump on it. We got tons of videos. Frank and I are putting out a ton of content today when it comes to other sports in San Diego that we haven't gotten to, and we won't have time to get to today. Like the goals, like all the other sports around town, like all the local colleges as well. I mean, tons of stuff in college basketball. Aztecs have a game tonight. I don't even know if we have time to talk about that. But we do have time to talk about it on our YouTube page. And again, if you love San Diego sports, if you love the local connections, if you just want more of our content, it's all right there at B_SURP on YouTube, the Braden Surprenant Show, its own YouTube page. If you're on the 97.3 The Fan page, you can access us on the front page of that. They have all of our shows. It says our shows. See the logo, click subscribe. Easy to do. It's free to do. You get notified when we post new content. We're going to post a lot more content coming up later on this afternoon. And that's going to be the place that we post content on, weekends and days that, we're not on the air, like we did over the weekend. So, again, Braden Surprenant Show page, go check it out. You can also get us in podcast form wherever you get your podcasts. Just search the Braden Surprenant Show. You could find us on there as well. We do want to get to the phones, though. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's go out to Dan in Arizona. Wants to weigh in. Dan, what's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing, Braden?
I'm doing well. Doing a lot better after this weekend of signs. How you doing?
Absolutely. Hey, I'm a 32-year season ticket member. I'm real excited. Question, though. Guys like Ty France or Walker Buehler, they signed minor league deals. So I don't think that I don't think options apply here. If they don't make the 40-man roster, they can start the season in the minors. And then usually they have an opt-out date. If they don't have a major league team by a certain date, they can opt out and become free agents again. A guy like Vasquez, who's on the major league roster, he can't be sent down without going through waivers. Am I correct here?
I don't think so, because Tristan McKenzie signed a minor. You might be on the right track. Tristan McKenzie signed a minor league deal too, and he's a non-roster invite, and he's also listed on the out of options portion of the roster that they put out. So
Yeah, but
it might differentiate between some of the players that might be already out and some people that don't. But I will get the clarification on that. I mean, trying to keep up with some of these baseball rules is crazy. Do you know the difference on that? I don't off the top of my head.
I don't either. I think
I thought you have the 3 options, and if you use them, then they're done.
I'll take a look right now.
But because I was waiting for the Padres PR to put out that other. They've been putting out the roster almost every day of like guys that are in camp, and then they had the portion where it said out of options, but they said that Tristan McKenzie didn't sign a major league contract. He signed a minor league contract, and he's on the out of options category on this camp thing. So I don't know, because I would believe that, except for the fact McKenzie's listed as it.
This is an AI overview.
Oh boy,
from MLB.com. Those where they took it from. If a non-roster invitee does not make the opening day roster, they are assigned to minor league camp as they are not on the 40-man roster and do not require waivers to be sent down. They continue to prepare for the season in the minors, though some may have contractual opt-outs allowing them to become free agents. Reassignment, the players move from the major league to minor league camp. So pretty much NRIs are typically signed to minor league contracts to provide depth and competition, allowing clubs to evaluate them without using a 40-man roster spot during spring training. So from what it sounds like is you're not on the 40-man, you're on a minor league deal, so you can get sent down, quote unquote, you can get reassigned. And I think it depends on the contract and what's in the deal, whether or not you can opt out of it or not.
Because I look at the roster that they have posted every day, and it says 0 options remaining. Miguel Andujar, Luis Camposano, Logan Gillespie, Marco Gonzalez, Bryce Johnson, Ron Marinaccio, Tristan McKenzie, Jose Miranda, Nick Pivetta, Pablo Reyes, Nick Solak, Samad Taylor, Randy Vasquez, Matt Waldron. Some of those guys are on minor league deals. That's why it's like they have the opt-outs and stuff. I mean, or they have the 0 options remaining. I don't know the clarifications on some of those, but the Padres have not posted a roster like that since February 15th. So hopefully they can, hopefully they'll put another one out and have some clarification on some players that don't have options anymore.
A couple things I will say about the guys like Walker Buehler and Tristan McKenzie and their ability to opt out and just hang out in the minor leagues. Tristan McKenzie is coming off of a couple of down years with bad teams. So, I mean, I don't see Tristan McKenzie, if he does have an option clause in his contract, if he has a bad spring training or has a decent spring training but not good enough to make the team, I don't see him walking. And also the fact that Walker Buehler was open to taking a demotion to AAA, the Iron Pigs down there in Lehigh Valley. I think that also bodes well for him not just saying, you know what, I'm out of here. So I think if those guys don't make the roster, there's a good chance that those guys will accept the reassignment to the minor leagues.
I don't agree. And here's why. If Walker Buehler and Tristan McKenzie pitch well,
if they have great spring trainings,
if they have great
they're
spring
out.
trainings, they're going to be on the team. But if they have good spring trainings, somebody's going to pick them up. Like, the only way you would want to keep these players, right, is if they have good spring trainings. Otherwise, why keep them? Unless they're like, they have a terrible spring training and you go, we could fix this guy in 3 months. I'm going to keep this guy. But if that's the case, if they have bad spring trainings, they're not going to be kept on the team. They're just going to be sent elsewhere. If they have good spring trainings, but not good enough to make the team, there are other teams that will take a chance on them. Mm-hmm. Right? Those are teams that are not competitive. And so the decision would be, does Walker Buehler want to be on a team that does not win, but he gets to be in the big leagues? Or does he want to be on a good organization, but he's not in the big leagues? The answer is always big leagues. because every day in the big leagues is better than being in the minors. You get service time and all that other fun stuff. So if they play well, but not well enough to make the team, they're gone.
I understand that, and I agree with you 100%. But the fact that he was willing to take that reassignment down to AAA last year with the Phillies is the only thing that gives me.
When did he do that?
He was a minor league.
I know, but
minor leagues last year.
What portion of the season?
I remember we talked about
because
it
he started the year with Boston, and then he went to Philly. I mean, it was probably around the time where he really didn't have. It was around the time where he could go down to the minor leagues and show he could make the playoff roster. Not like beginning of the season, let me just go down to the minor leagues instead of being on a big league club. This was post deadline when he was probably down to the minors.
It was August 31st was when they signed
he's
him.
willing to do that because he gets to stay in the organization and not get picked up by the Marlins, who has no chance. And at least he's working towards, well, if I do really well, I could be on a playoff roster and make a run at this thing. Not, I could go be a starting pitcher in Tampa who's 35 games out of first place, and I'm just like pitching to pitch. I could see why he would do that. I don't think he's going to do that for a team at the beginning of the season. I really don't. Because, again, it's better to be in the big leagues than it is to be in the minor leagues. Because when you're in the big leagues, you get service time. And there's a lot of good things that can happen when you're in the big leagues. You can prove yourself more. You can get traded at the deadline. I mean, there's a lot of benefits of being with a big league club. So if Walker Buehler and Tristan McKenzie, and we're using them as examples because they're non-roster invitees, if they play well enough to be good enough to be a major leaguer on one of the teams, but they're not good enough to be on the Padres, they're getting picked up. They're not going to the minor leagues. The only way the Padres keep these guys in the minor leagues is if they don't do well enough to be as good of a player on the worst team in Major League Baseball.
He made 2 starts with the Phillies, 3 appearances, went 3-0 at an 0.66 ERA, and did not make the postseason roster for them.
Yeah. He did well. I mean, maybe he figured out what he needed to do, and he could have that in spring. I mean, that was asked of him, and we're going to talk about Walker Buehler a little bit later in the show. I mean, Kevin Acee asked him about, like, I know you don't want to really use last year into this year, but your last couple of starts in Philly, you could really play into it. And Walker Buehler talks about that with the media today in a Padres uniform. So I just think the deal is, and you look at the roster, again, we'll pull it back up one more time, but you look at the battling for a spot, the object of the difference here is because of the rules and where players are with their contracts, you can't just stockpile them in the minor leagues, which is the whole point of this exercise. You have to make difficult decisions. It's not like, we'll just have Germán Márquez and Tristan McKenzie start in the minors or whatever it is. That's not a guarantee. You can't just stockpile players. They have rules in order to prevent that from happening. As much as, you might think you might be able to do that. That's not going to be the case. So those two are going to be competing for a spot. And here's the other question too. It's like, and I want to get to this when we come back. I know it wasn't really planned on our show. Our show's just going to be like kind of all over the place today, I guess, with all the moves that happened. But like Craig Stammen talked about at the beginning of spring training, like Randy Vasquez was basically a shoo-in for the number 4 spot. It was his position to lose. Does that change now with Walker Buehler and Germán Márquez? Because here's the thing. You can't keep all 3 of those guys. You can't. If you just take those 3 players in general, Randy Vasquez, Germán Márquez, and Walker Buehler, you can't keep them all part of the rotation. You just can't, because they're out of options. You can't send them down to minor leagues. You would have to keep one as a long relief guy. You're going to do that with Randy Vasquez. I mean, you have to pick 2 of the 3. And by the way, that's not even talking about other players that are part of this conversation for a starting pitching spot. That's not even mentioning Tristan McKenzie, who could potentially have a good year. I mean, this is the tough decisions that the Padres are going to have to make. But I'm not necessarily sure that these are, I'm not necessarily sure that these players are going to be able to stick around with this work. I mean, you look at it from a depth perspective of, well, we got to, kind of load manage. I don't really like using that phrase. Some of these pitchers coming off from injury. Yeah, I don't necessarily know you could do that. And by the way, who gets dropped off the team when Griffin Canning shows up? You talked about Griffin Canning. They signed Griffin Canning over the weekend, too. He's not supposed to be back till May. Once he gets off the injured list, he has to get added to the 40-man roster. You got to take somebody else off. I mean, it's a good position to be in if you're the San Diego Padres. And it's going to play itself out. What did Craig Stammen say about the starting staff now? We'll talk about that and hear from what he has to say when we come back. 11 a.m. This show's going to fly by. Want to get your phone calls today, 833-288-973, 833-288-973. We have asked the poll question on my YouTube page as well as the fans' YouTube page. Are the Padres in a better spot now than they were last year at this time? Please weigh in. 86% of you on the Braden Surprenant Show page says yes. I think so. Somebody put out on Twitter, they're watching us on X. Can't you trade one of those players? I mean, theoretically, you could trade some of the players as you have these roster spots, but every team knows the roster decisions that you have to make, and they understand that you have to get rid of some of these players. And so what a lot of teams do is they just wait for you to cut them so they don't have to give up players for them. I mean, they would have to be very, very good and have a really good spring training for you to be able to sucker some team into giving something up for a player that they could potentially get off waivers. Now, I guess depending on waiver order, you might be able to get some of these guys traded, but I'm pretty sure you can't really trade the minor league free agent pickups. Those guys usually get put on waivers. It's not like you stockpile the asset and then you can just ship it into other players. It usually doesn't work like that in Major League Baseball. Again, there's a lot of rules for this for a lot of the players. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Let's get to some of the stuff from today from Craig Stammen. And we're going to continue our conversation on all these roster moves. We're going to get to the AJ Preller news, obviously, with him signing a contract extension. A lot to talk about in the Padres world today. But Craig Stammen met with the media, as he always does. And there was a couple of things that involved the rotation that we've continued to talk about, obviously, with the new additions. The first thing asked to Craig Stammen, he was asked about the competition, the starting rotation, and how much their Cactus League performance will impact roster decisions. Here's Craig.
Yeah, it'll be, a lot of it will be how they pitch in spring training. There's a few of them that are coming off years that they probably don't think are very highly of. And so they're trying to prove themselves again. They probably got a little chip on their shoulder. That's good. And then we've got guys that we've had internal for a little bit now that are trying to show that the things that we've asked them to do in the offseason that they've improved upon and that they've executed. So it'll just be fun to watch these guys compete and get after it. And, we'll see how it shakes out in the end. Yeah, it'll be, a lot of it will be
it's tough, too, like, with this conversation of the roster because there's, like, baseball is such a sport where you need a large sample size, and spring training is not enough of a sample size for a lot of these guys. I mean, I don't think it's going to be necessarily, it's not going to be the stats. I can tell you that for right now. It will not be the stats for these players in spring training. It will be what they think they can see, what they look like, and where they think they could get these players during the major league season. But again, with all these non-roster invite players, somebody's got to come off the 40-man in order to put them on the team. I mean, these are going to be tough decisions. But again, it's going to play itself over spring training. Craig Stammen talked about how Randy Vasquez was kind of had the inside track to the number 4 spot in the rotation before spring training started. Padres signed a lot of veteran pitchers. Does he still have that same sentiment? Here's what Craig Stammen had to say about that 4 spot in the rotation.
Yeah, I don't think it affects Randy at all. Randy's showed up in great shape. He had an amazing offseason. The few times he's thrown here already, he's impressed us a lot. What we saw in September from him is what we're seeing right now. So Randy's just got to keep being himself, and he's going to be fine, and this competition will shake out the way it's supposed to shake out.
Fair. It's a fair answer. Can't be saying, like, yeah, probably doesn't have it now. Interesting conversation when it comes to the starting rotation for the Padres. Because the starting rotation for the Padres became super competitive last night after AJ Preller made a ton of moves, on top of the fact that he was making all these moves, and also signing his own contract extension. We haven't had time to dive into that yet, and we're going to get into it right now. I do want to talk about AJ Preller getting a contract extension. We knew it was only a matter of time. I thought he was going to maybe get it once the season started because of the way that timing was a major issue with this. Just because he was doing a lot of things to get this roster ready. But if you look at the time that A.J. Preller has been in charge of this roster, the results speak for themselves. You know, the Padres, and again, this is what happened. They signed A.J. Preller to a multi-year contract extension just as spring training opened. Previously entering final year of his contract, talks began roughly a year ago. They finalized the deal after an in-person meeting on Sunday. Length undisclosed at A.J. Preller's request. Extension likely runs at least 3 additional years. Maybe, who knows? You won't know officially unless A.J. Preller gives it out. But Chairman John Seidler called A.J. Preller the architect of the team. He emphasized sustained success, framed extension as a stabilizing move before the season. And now you take away one of the uncertainties of the year, which was the front office uncertainty. In fact, you kind of took away a lot of the uncertainties of this team throughout, just in the weekend with what are you going to do here? What are you going to do there? What are you going to do here? Padres have kind of answered a lot of those, or at least created some competition to potentially answer those questions. Preller's tenure, I think it can be properly described as boom, bust, rebuild, and contend. It was hired in 2014, immediate splash trades, swung big, missed big in 2014, 2015, had the early failures, went into rebuild mode from 2016 to 2019, and he was aggressive in drafting and international signings. He built the farm system up, and then from 2020 to 2025, the Padres had made 4 playoff appearances in 6 seasons. They made the NLCS in 2022. They had back-to-back 90-plus win seasons in 2024 and 2025. Most successful stretch in franchise history. Before A.J. Preller, the Padres were largely irrelevant for decades, and under A.J. Preller, perennial contention, attendance through the roof, national relevance. The players showed extremely strong support of the A.J. Preller news yesterday. Machado called it awesome. He publicly advocated for the extension over the weekend, and he praised his loyalty and passion. Fernando Tatis Jr. hugs Preller before the extension, said he can't leave me. If somebody can bring a championship to San Diego, it's him. Players view him as aggressive, loyal, honest, invested. The clubhouse culture impact is real with A.J. Preller. Aggressive to the core is his style. He has traded more major leaguers than any team during his tenure. Never declared a prospect untouchable. He has dealt 80-plus top 30 prospects since 2019. Major trades include acquiring Fernando Tatis Jr. in 2016, acquiring Juan Soto, acquiring Blake Snell, Josh Hader, Mason Miller as part of the 2025 blockbuster that headlined 5 trades, 22 players involved, and even trading away the number 1 prospect, Leo DeVries. His philosophy, of course, we're going to trade players. He said that last year at the trade deadline. He believes he can rebuild farm systems repeatedly, and he has done that. And he also believes that the window is always now. The farm system costs, well, the reality is the farm system currently ranks worst in Major League Baseball by many outlets. 80-plus ranked prospects traded. Multiple former Padres prospects are now all-stars. That list includes guys like C.J. Abrams, Mackenzie Gore. I mean, they got guys like Robert Hassel III. They trade away Leo DeVries. But I will say with all 4 of those players that are mentioned, one of them has now dropped in the prospect rankings, and Leo DeVries still expected to be a top prospect in Major League Baseball. Robert Hassel III has completely disappeared. Mackenzie Gore just got traded to Texas, and C.J. Abrams has been on the trade block all offseason long. Has A.J. Preller made some misses? Yeah, he has. Ty France, Andres Munoz in 2020, kind of a miss. France became an all-star. Munoz became an elite closer. Padres return fizzled. But even in the examples of a miss, he was still able to replace Andres Munoz with good, if not better, closers over the time that Munoz has been part of the Mariners. I mean, they had Josh Hader on the team, and now they have Mason Miller. And Ty France did become an all-star, but Ty France has now made his way back to your team after a couple of different teams mixed throughout his career. The pattern of high risk, high variance, sometimes spectacular and sometimes painful, must-watch entertainment moves by A.J. Preller. His payroll, $227 million, top 10 in Major League Baseball. For a small market franchise, half the payroll is tied to older contracts from 2022 to 2023 spending spree. They've reorganized the debt. The payroll is trimmed $100 million in 2024, and they still won 93 games. AJ Preller has engineered creative contracts. He has rebuilt the roster under tighter budgets, and he has managed post-spending era. And he's done it to a high level. Ownership and this new sale context, I mean, team is still exploring a sale. We'll have details on that later on in the show. But the extension was done before new ownership transition. And John Seidler says it was not required, but it is stabilizing for this organization. And I will say this. I will go back to exactly what I said before. But historically, the Padres were irrelevant for decades before A.J. Preller. And A.J. Preller has been at the helm of what has been the most successful stretch in franchise history. I saw people commenting on A.J. Preller getting a contract extension going, wow, San Diego just continues to be a loser sports town as they bring in a guy that can't win. What do you mean can't win? Winning a World Series, I know, is the ultimate goal for everybody, but it's not an easy thing to do, and not everybody does it. What you want to do is put yourself in a position where year in and year out, you are competing for a World Series. That is sustained success, and the Padres have done that under A.J. Preller, and there's nobody more deserving of a contract extension in this organization than A.J. Preller, and he got it yesterday. We'll hear from some of the players when we come back. I mentioned some of the quotes, but you got to hear it from them about how important A.J. Preller is to this organization and how important he is to these players, and why it was important for the Padres to give A.J. Preller the contract extension. We'll get to that when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Broadcasting live at the Bill House Studios, we know how. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. This is the Braden Surprenant Show, live and local each and every day from 10 to 2 on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. A lot of Padres talk today with all the moves that they made over the weekend, with how the roster is going to fill out, with A.J. Preller getting a contract extension. John Seiler, Eric Grupner met with the media yesterday. We will have all that coverage for you as we continue on in the show. We've been talking about A.J. Preller and the contract extension that he just got. But the cool thing is you got to see a lot of the players react yesterday. And we have these all posted on our social media pages. If you haven't followed us yet, you got to do it. Follow the fan at 97 to the fan SD on social media. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page. All of the long form of a lot of these videos are on our YouTube page at 97 through the fan. So be sure to check that out. Subscribe to us. If you're watching on 97 through the fan, be able to find us a lot faster. If you just see the logo down below on your screen, you click next to it. There's a subscribe button. If you're watching on a desktop, on your phone, it's super easy to be sure to subscribe to the YouTube page and do the same thing for us on the Braden Surprenant Show page. We got a lot of extra videos that we put up on that page as well. YouTube.com/@B_SURP. If you go to the main page for 97 through the fan, it's super easy to find us. Right underneath the live now, it says our shows. You could see all the show logos. Hit subscribe underneath it, and you will have all of your content right there ready for you on YouTube. So A.J. Preller got his contract extension. They asked the players about it. The players were excited. And here's some of the players for you. Let's get started with Xander Bogaerts when he was asked about A.J. Preller getting a contract extension.
Nice, very nice. For sure, he's done a lot of great stuff for the org even before I was here, all my years here. We've been to playoffs 2 of the past 3. Almost made it my first year here. I remember it was a very tough one. But yeah, very deserving. Always kind of puts us in a really good position, especially at the deadline. And if we're close or if we're in it, he always goes for it. That's kind of the attitude that he has.
That's Xander Bogaerts talking about it, but it continued with everybody else in this organization. Manny was a big advocate for A.J. Preller getting the contract extension up until really, yesterday. 2 days ago, he was just all about it. And when he got the news, here's what Manny had to say about A.J. Preller getting extension.
A little bit extended. What was your reaction to the news that he has been?
He got extended? As you can tell, I'm looking for my phone. Is that what happened? He's good?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's signed? Damn, so I should have spoken 3 months ago or something. I don't know. It's awesome. It's awesome. I think, I don't know anyone that loves this organization and cares about this organization, cares about this franchise, cares about these players in this clubhouse more than that person. I don't think it's any of us BSing around here about when we speak about AJ. I think it's just genuine. I think he's truthful to all his players, loyal to the guys, and it's awesome to see that he's going to be here. I think he started this all, and we all believe in him. We know what he's made up and what he does for this franchise. So yeah, it's awesome to have him here, and to continue to help us succeed at the highest level, and to continue to build to bring a championship to the city of San Diego.
You could hear it in Manny's voice about how much of an impact, A.J. Preller has had on him. And I'm telling you, these guys don't just say that just to say it. Do you think if they told Bryce Harper right now that they gave Dave Dombrowski a contract extension in Philly, he'd be super stoked about it? He would probably say he'd mind his P's and Q's, I'll tell you that. But he ain't going to be genuine like these players have been. And there's probably nobody more genuine about it than Fernando. And there's a couple of clips from Fernando, and I know we got Michael King on there, and we're going to get to Michael King too. But if you look at what Fernando said about the A.J. Preller extension and then his relationship with A.J. Preller, you can just tell the players love playing for this guy. and they love him being part of the organization. And like, look, I mean, he's got to make all the tough moves too. Like it's business as well. But when you want to talk about a person who's got the impact that AJ Preller does in an organization, I mean, there's not a lot of people that make that kind of impact in the org, in any organization in Major League Baseball. I mean, just listen to how Fernando reacts to this. Here's Fernando Tatis Jr. reacting to AJ Preller getting a contract extension.
Like I said, just about time, and really happy. He's our guy, and somebody's deserve it is totally him.
How would you describe the relationship that you do have with him?
It's a really fun one. I mean, we had grown up together. He almost raised me as a dad, and man, but we has been in this journey together, and he has held my back, and he has hold me accountable probably more than anybody, and just really happy that my journey is attached with him.
He's been really busy. How about the guy he just brought in, Nick Castellanos, your new locker mate?
He knows what he's doing. He know what he's doing, so just that simple.
What's it like to play for him? Play for Preller as general manager, knowing he can shake things up at any moment, he can add to the roster at any moment. What's it like to be on a team?
It's definitely fun. Yeah, I mean, he's probably the GM that has more character out there, right? More spontaneous guy out there, and I'm just really happy I'm playing for him.
In terms of what he does and how it's conducive to winning, like bringing guys in that are big league ready, like what have you seen in terms of that, how he helps you guys get to where you want to get?
He has definitely founded this organization from bringing it from probably from one of the worst to one of the top organizations in the game, and I feel like everybody knows what he's capable of, and if somebody can bring a championship to San Diego, it's definitely AJ Preller.
If he actually were a dad, what kind of dad do you think?
Say that again?
If you were a dad, if AJ were a dad, what kind of dad do you think he would be?
You're getting me on the spot right now. But he'll definitely be a great dad, man. He'll let you be, but like I said earlier, he'll definitely hold you accountable, tell you what's right, what you're doing wrong. Definitely tell you what you're doing wrong, and he'll definitely be a fun one.
How pumped are you right now for the WBC? And I think Manny is a captain, right, of the Dominican team?
Capitan. Man, we're just ready. The boys are together. The Dominican team we definitely know what we can bring to the table. But the most important part is that we're working for it, and we're not eating shit, We know the competition that is out there, and every player that is going to go out there definitely going to bring his A game.
These guys are unfiltered sometimes. Good thing I got a dump button over here too, just like Frank does. Bang, immediate drop. But you could hear from Fernando the way he talks about AJ. I'm telling you, like the relationship these players have with AJ is a big impact on the organization and how these guys play. That's why you can't just like replace this guy thinking anybody could do his job. He has done a phenomenal job. He deserves a contract extension. He got it. I mean, and the results speak for themselves. He doesn't have a World Series, but this is the best stretch the Padres have ever had in their franchise history. I don't know how many times I have to say that for people who be like, I don't know, whatever. I mean, just people just like to bitch. Basically what it is. Let's get to Michael King. Michael King also talked about AJ Preller getting a contract extension. I mean, obviously, Michael King's a guy that AJ Preller fought really hard to get here, and then to stay here multiple times, right? I mean, he went through the arbitration, right, and then now gave him a contract extension. But AJ Preller's contract extension now. Here's what Michael King had to say about AJ Preller getting a contract extension.
It's awesome. I've never met anybody like him, especially in the GM world. He's going to put together the best team that he possibly can with whatever restrictions are put on him, and it's honestly really impressive. So I can't wait to see the final product here and the final product for the next however many years I'm here.
Again, I mean, just everybody was reacting to this, Frank, from the player's perspective, like a fellow player got a contract extension.
Yeah, exactly. It's amazing how he's one of the boys. That's really all you could say is he's a part of the boys.
Look, and now it's difficult because you want to have that relationship with the team, but also at the same time, you have to be the authoritative figure, right? You have to be able to tell guys the bad news. I mean, everybody's seen Moneyball with that entire situation as well. But I think the other part about it is like they like the fact that AJ Preller is competitive and wants to win and is not afraid to make crazy moves. And I think everybody knows that when they are a part of this organization that nobody's really safe at these deadlines and things happen. And I think they get the support you like to see. You know, when you're a player, you like seeing that the front office is trying to make your squad, the best squad they possibly can and give you the resources to win. And AJ Preller's done that in every year since 2020. He has been in the win now mode and has done everything in his power to try to make the Padres a winner. And he always has added to this team. So I'm glad AJ Preller got the contract extension. I really am. I think the Padres needed to keep this guy around. I think he would have been a hot commodity on the open market. I mean, but just have you heard Fernando and the relationship that he had with AJ Preller and how he like almost treats him as like a second father figure and kind of helping him mature over these years. And he has gone through a lot already in his career, but for him to speak on a front office member like that, I think is very impressive. And I think that goes a long way when it comes to other players wanting to be part of this organization.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's nice to be able to have that front office or that manager type, honestly, like we have here with Adam. It's like you can talk to him. Like you're not afraid of knocking on that office door if you ever need anything. And I feel like that's what these players are showing that they have with AJ Preller. And we still have one more here with Jackson Merrill as well.
Yeah, here's what Jackson Merrill had to say about AJ Preller getting a contract extension.
He's built a good foundation here with a lot of people, and it's just going to be more excited to have him.
What does it mean to see this organization give out these big contracts, try and keep these cores together, use Ander, Manny, AJ now? I mean, how much does that give you guys peace of mind to know that this group's going to stick together?
Yeah, man, it's a family, and every time you get that family coming back for the next year, it's always a blast. Especially coming off last year, like coming in, a lot of the same guys, it's huge. A lot more relationships are already built, and fun to build some new ones with AJ's help.
What would you like to see in the next owners if this team does get sold?
I can't really say anything about that. I have much respect for John. I know it's a business, so you kind of just got to accept it. But, like other people say, like we love people spending money. That's huge. It's good for the game. It's good for the teams, and it helps teams get better. In all honesty.
There are new faces in this clubhouse in the past couple of days. What's been your first early impression of Castellanos?
He's a man. Chill vibe, and he's just ready to work. He's a quiet assassin. I love it. He got here and he's just going through his business, doing his work. And he's working hard too, right off the rip. That's all I can see, and I respect it.
What did you guys take away from Stan his first time addressing the team yesterday?
Awesome. Super locked in. Had everybody locked in. That's important. Your manager's talking, we should be listening. So it's huge to have us all locked in.
A lot of different things asked to Jackson Merrill right there, but again, all the sentiments are the same. I mean, all the players are fired up for AJ Preller getting a contract extension, just like it was a fellow player getting a contract extension. We got a lot to get to still on the Braden Surprenant show. We got a lot of different sound to play as well. I mean, we're going to talk about the Nick Castellanos situation in just a little bit as he was brought in on Saturday. And the move to bring in Nick Castellanos was the first that was a flurry of moves this weekend. It was Nick Castellanos, and then it was Griffin Canning, and then it was Germán Márquez, and then yesterday it was Ty France, and then just to finish it all off on yesterday night, last night, it was Walker Buehler, and mixed in between was the morning of AJ Preller getting a contract extension. I mean, so much Padres news. We're going to continue the conversation when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Here's your reminder. We do it in the 11 o'clock hour each and every day. We remind you to do what exactly, Frank? What do we remind people to do in the 11 o'clock hour? Here we go.
Tip your waitress.
Make sure you do that. We remind people to listen at 1 o'clock for us to announce today's biggest fan for a chance to qualify for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a future Padres game with all the fan staff. Register your name at 97fantasy.com/biggest fan in order to potentially have your name called. To announce me as the biggest fan. James in Oceanside still waiting for his opportunity. He's just waiting for the call. Waiting for the call up. Hasn't gotten it yet. We're going to talk more about this Padres stuff in a little bit. We do got to get to the sports thread here in a couple of minutes. Man, did I have a rough time with taco shops this weekend.
Yeah, you had a time this weekend, dude.
A rough time. Now, one of the things that I bitched about on social media is a recurring pet peeve of mine. And now, here's the deal. I remember when I was a freshman in high school, you had to take, that was back when you actually had to take speech class. I don't know if anybody has to do that anymore, but I had to take speech class for one of the semesters. So like in high school, at least at Cathedral, it was one semester you got PE, the other semester you got speech when you're a freshman.
Mm-hmm.
And you had to take both. And then once you played sports, you didn't have to take PE anymore. So that was the only semester that I took PE. And then I take speech. And one of the speech, they had all these themes for the speeches, and one of them was a pet peeve speech. I didn't even know what a pet peeve was when I was a freshman in high school. My mom was like, it's something you just to bitch about all the time. I'm like, I don't know what I bitch about.
Oh, it's Scraby's gripe segment.
Yeah, basically. I would now, you know what I did my speech on? The napkins at taco shops.
Oh, gosh.
They're such a waste. I mean, you know what I'm talking about. I made it funny. It was great. I mean, I got this great burrito. It's usually a mess, right? And then you got the little flimsy napkins. I mean, how come they have the worst napkins known to man when they have some of the messiest food at taco shops? But that's not where I'm going with this. I have now discovered that my biggest pet peeve is the salsa bar. And the people who cannot do salsa in a timely manner. Now, this is an old man yells at clouds, potentially, even though old men are very slow at this. But pet peeve. Doing the salsa at a taco shop. Taking up the entire salsa bar so nobody else can do it. Yeah, exactly. 100%. Don't get me started on that.
Can you teach me how to do my taxes and prepare me for the real world? No, shut up and write your speech.
Write your speech about things you bitch about. I should have made my pet peeve speech about not being able to taught how to do taxes. Now we've come full circle. Anyway, the timing at the taco shop with the sauce. I don't think you get hot sauce or salsa, so there's nothing you could talk. I mean, you can't really weigh in on this, Frank, can you?
No.
But waiting for people that spend 25 to 40 minutes, it seems like, filling the salsa and taking up the whole thing with all of their trays. Courtesy. Get to the side. Or move in a timely manner when you got a line behind you. That was pet peeve number one. Now, this weekend, I will not say the name of the place that I went to, but I'm close to just saying I'll never go there again. That's the level of mess up here. I feel like I'm in the right. I think this is a foul. I think we just described this being a foul on Saturday, Frank.
Yep.
Okay?
Braden's on the verge of...
I'm not going to say the restaurant's name.
Of committing arson.
I will definitely not be going back there. I used to go there. I will not be going back there. I ordered a burrito, okay? Here, let me ask you if this is foul. Maybe I'm overreacting. Maybe it's not my fault. I went to a place that makes... My friend likes this place. She likes this place. I used to like this place until this time. They have been known to have they have massive burritos, which is not why I went there. She likes the fries. They have all these different types of fries. Okay. Massive burrito. The burrito comes with.
No, Nate, it's not the Kraft Taco.
No, it's not the Kraft Taco. Kraft Taco would never do this. I would never be angry at the Kraft Taco.
I'm waiting for the tacos. Where are the damn tacos at?
But this is a burrito I ordered. It came with, and you know what I did after I had it because it was so catastrophically bad? I must have screwed up and ordered the wrong thing. I had to double check the menu. The picture and the menu items said specifically what I ordered, which was carne asada, sour cream, cheese, guac. That's it. That's what it comes with.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I ordered. I didn't make any special changes. I didn't make no personal requests. I simply ordered the burrito as it was detailed on the menu. Now, here's something I will die on this hill. Rice has no place in a burrito at a taco shop. I will not believe it. No, do not put rice in a burrito. I will not eat it. I hate rice in a burrito. Absolutely hate it. I don't like it at Chipotle. I don't like it at taco shops. One of my buddies said it best. If you like rice in your burrito, you're either from Orange County or you're a bleep. That's what he said. So you take that for what it's worth. But I don't think I'm in the wrong here with the rice. I get the burrito. I bite into it. It has the ingredients that I think are going to be in there. And then it also has rice and beans in the burrito. Just ruin the entire thing. Now, I ordered the burrito. It came with carne asada, sour cream cheese, and guac. The burrito was $17, which is a joke in itself. But I understand it's bigger than my face. So I can understand why it's that. But if I'm going to pay $17 for a burrito, and then they add ingredients that I don't like without me asking, and we went back to the receipt, all that stuff. I looked at the picture. I'm like, I must have screwed up. There's no way you just add random things to a burrito.
Good.
No.
Good on you, by the way.
I think that's a foul.
Good on you, by the way,
I checked to make sure I didn't screw up first.
Exactly.
I've
you
done
took
that
accountability on it first. That was your first reaction, was not just to blame them. So
It's
good on you for that.
I checked it myself. I was like, looked at the receipt, cleared. I looked at the menu. I saw the picture with the menu item. No rice, no beans. Terrible. I will never be going back there. Absolutely never be going back there. And if I do go back there, I will not be getting a burrito.
Jocelyn's got fighting words for you, dude. Probably added it because your order was lame in the first place.
No. That's a fine burrito. I mean, most people in our chat determined that that's basically what a California burrito is anyway. I just didn't have the fries, okay? If I would have added fries, who knows what they would have added to the burrito. Terrible.
He draws the foul.
I think it's a foul. I think I'm justified in giving them a foul for that.
I would, yes.
You don't need rice and beans in a burrito. I can't say no rice next time if there's no burrito. If the burrito doesn't have rice in it. It's not like the burrito came with rice and I was upset I didn't say no rice. It doesn't come with rice. That would be like having any other food item and they just like, we're just going to throw this in there. Just cuz. How do you... Come on. I think I'm justified in that. I think I have a right to be upset about this.
We had our own DoorDash mishap yesterday.
I physically drove there and went to the place. I can't even blame the DoorDash driver or whatever. I literally went to the place.
Well, no, this wasn't DoorDash's either. We went to Jack in the Box. I have no problem calling you guys out. We ordered from Jack in the Box yesterday just 3 sausage, egg, and cheese croissants. 3 sausage, egg, and cheese. That was it. We got 1 sausage, egg, and cheese croissant and 2 bacon and ham croissants with no egg on it.
Nice.
So you got one of them right. And then the other 2, you missed half of the ingredients. We got one half wrong and then completely missed the other half.
I just, to Jocelyn, did it have rice? No, it doesn't come with rice. It's not supposed to come with rice. And they threw rice in there. Imagine ordering something and then they throw something in there that's not on the menu, that it's something that you don't like. I'm just saying, there's 2 ways for me to never go to a taco shop. 1, that, and 2, you burn my burrito. It's happened before. I have had a burnt tortilla burrito.
How do you burn a burrito?
I understand. Some place down the street over here did it. I never went back. I refused to go back.
Like brown and a little crispy, I get, but
it was
how
crunchy.
do you
it was like eating
it?
It was like a chip.
How do you do that?
I'm just saying, I feel like I'm in the right here by saying I'm upset about them adding an ingredient that I didn't order. But again, I went through it because there's some times, this is what I said before, there have been some times where I forget. I don't like pico de gallo. I don't like it in a burrito. I love tomatoes now. I like onions. I like cilantro. You throw it in the burrito, all I'm tasting is onions and tomatoes and cilantro. So I usually say no pico, right? Now, if I order a burrito and I forget to say no pico, I'm mad at myself and I force myself to eat it to learn the consequences of my actions. But that is not the case here. I did not request for something to be out of the burrito because it never came with, it's not supposed to be in the burrito. Imagine ordering a burrito, just a random burrito, Frank, and they just threw a chili relleno in there just for fun. You'd be livid.
Yes, I would be.
Here's a pizza that you ordered from a pizza place. Like, we're gonna throw mushrooms and olives on here if you don't like mushrooms. You know what? You should have specified you didn't want it, even though you just ordered a cheese pizza. You understand what I'm saying here?
We're seeing some possible problem-solving tactics here in the chat. Just go to Taco Bell, dude.
Why would I go to Taco Bell? I want a taco shop, Mexican food. You don't put rice in a burrito.
Here's something that you cannot get from a taco shop. You cannot get a Baja Blast or a Baja Blast freeze from a taco shop.
I don't. Oh, wow. I'm getting yelled at. You will be going back to this place. I don't know. And
I might be going back for you, not for me though.
I don't know if I'm going to get something. Maybe the fries. Maybe the fries were all right. Didn't mind the fries. But I will say this. I will not say that place's name. You guys can guess. Go ahead. I got good places that I like to go to. I will shout out the good places. I will not drag the places that I didn't like. That's not fair. I just won't go there. The Baja Blast is good, except that don't get the freeze one. The freeze one is not good.
No, the freeze is fine.
Just go to 7-Eleven and make it yourself.
No, they don't have a Baja Blast freeze thing at 7-Eleven.
I don't need
tempt me like
frozen margaritas or slushies. No, I'm already making a terrible choice by going to Taco Bell anyway.
Not if you're getting the nuggets.
I like the people that are trying to guess.
And the
what
nuggets
the
are back too.
Rob Jalapenos never gets it wrong. No, they don't. EC Money? No, they don't. It was not Rob's. I believe in Rob's. I believe in Yesenia's. I believe in a lot of places. I don't believe in this place anymore. I do believe we got to get to the sports thread.
We do?
Nuggets are back. Yes, they are.
You know that group chat? The one that's always blowing up with the biggest sports takes, debates, and breaking news?
You got barbecue back there, and you didn't invite me?
Yeah, we've got that too. Welcome to the Sports Thread, where we break down the top 5 stories in sports, just like you would with your crew.
Oh, no! Disaster! What a bad idea!
No filters, no silence, just real talk. Brought to you by QC Kinetics. Stop sitting on the sidelines. QC Kinetics gets you back in the game without surgery. To learn how, visit QCkinetics.com.
We got Texas catching strays in the chat.
Texas Mexican food, no bueno. There's a one spot in San Antonio I like, but other than that, no, she's on to something. Yeah, Christina Peterson. It sounds like you accidentally try to get Mexican food in Texas. I have gotten text in all caps. You will go back. You will get the fries. We'll see about that. I don't know. I'm not going to. I will be doing it begrudgingly. I will not be willingly throwing that name out there for a place. I have other places that I like. All right, let's get to what's going on in sports that's not burritos or San Diego Padres related. Nick Castellanos' son likes getting tacos in the gas lamp. I wonder what place he likes getting tacos at.
Probably not that place.
Number 1.
This one could pretty much be our only one for today. The NBA.
Here we go.
Find the Utah Jazz, as I get a system update right in my face while I'm trying to read this.
Thank you.
The NBA has fined the Utah Jazz $500,000 and the Indiana Pacers $100,000 for violating the league's player participation policies, citing decisions to sit healthy players in games where outcomes were still in doubt. Commissioner Adam Silver said actions that prioritize draft position over winning, quote, undermine the foundation of NBA competition, as if the league doesn't do a good enough job of that on their own, and warned that further measures could be coming. Utah was penalized for benching Lauri Markkanen and Jaren Jackson Jr. in key fourth quarters, while Indiana was fined for holding out Pascal Siakam and other starters despite medical clearance to play limited minutes. With both teams near the bottom of the league standings and a highly anticipated 2026 draft looming, the league is clearly cracking down on perceived tanking. Is the NBA right to punish teams for sitting healthy stars late in games, or is tanking just smart roster strategy in a draft-driven league?
We're talking about the tanking thing.
Yes.
I mean, they have a massive problem on their hands with the tanking deal. I don't know how. I mean, some of the ideas that Adam Silver threw out was basically like, hey, let's just sign up to be college basketball and have like the same 4 teams just win everything. I don't think there's that. I don't know what you do with this. There's too many teams that think the incentive is better to lose than it is to win. I don't know how you fix that problem with trying to change the draft any more than you have already done with a lottery system. Maybe you got to like tweak that a little bit more. The NBA is having a hard time of getting players to play at a high level and trying to win.
Adam Silver has suggested getting rid of the draft altogether and just have the college players be free agents. He has also recently come under fire from betting companies, which is why this was even a thing that happened, because betting companies now are getting screwed by players sitting out. So now they're putting pressure on the league, and now the league has put pressure on the teams. Good job, losers, all of you. The NBA has never been more illegitimate than it is in this moment. And that's saying
I
something.
can't wait for our NBA segment that we're going to do later on the Braden Surprenant Show page for our commercial break content on YouTube.
And then you had the All-Star game this weekend. Did you see that?
Oh, you
dunk
did?
contest?
I didn't even know.
Did you see that dunk contest?
Keyshawn Johnson won the San Diego State Aztec.
It was embarrassing.
It's all embarrassing. It's all dumb. Like the skills competition they ruined last year with Wembanyama and Chris Paul. Anyway.
Who's retired now, by the way.
Oh, yeah. That's breaking news, right? We'll be back in the noon hour.
Padres.
San Diego, it's time to fire it up. From the beaches to the ballparks, from the Gaslamp to North County, no one knows America's finest city like he does.
You can't just punt on a Manny Machado prime use.
He's a fourth-generation San Diegan, born and raised in the heart of this community. Passionate, opinionated, and always bringing you the real talk on your teams, your city, and everything in between.
Braden totally knows his stuff. He's ready for the next step. That guy is good.
Live and local, it's the Braden Surprenant Show.
But I think Braden's one of the up-and-coming young stars in the media game in San Diego.
Now, here's your host, Braden Surprenant.
Noon lunchtime hour. Now I need a burrito redemption after this weekend. I'm now thinking about burritos after that conversation.
Mention it enough times, we might get some again.
It's possible. I know for a fact the burritos out in Peoria are probably not as good as the ones in San Diego. And to bring in our expert on the burritos in Arizona, it's our usual time with Spring Training Sammy. No, we're not going to talk about burritos, but he does join us as part of courtesy of David P. Shapiro. David P. Shapiro, criminal defense attorneys helping good people gain control of their future when charged with a crime since 2010. Visit davidpshapirolaw.com. All right, Sam. Well, where to begin with the Padres and this weekend? So many different things that happened. They signed multiple players. They signed multiple pitchers. They've increased competition. AJ Preller got his contract extension. John Seidler and Eric Grubner met with the media, kept reassuring a lot of questions that the Padres aren't moving. I mean, so much to unpack, but what a wild weekend it was for you out there in Peoria, Sam.
Yeah, it really was. Felt like our shows got off the air on Friday and then everything started happening and we had to wait a few days for all of you to get back on the air. Feels like we went through multiple news cycles in that time span. Obviously big news, both with what they did, who they acquired. I said it a little bit earlier to the morning guys. Look, I give the Padres an A+ for what happened this weekend as far as adding to the roster. And I don't say that from a standpoint of, you know what you're getting from any of these guys and are they going to contribute to winning baseball? Well, we're going to find out. However, really with all of them, whether you want to talk about Castellanos or Márquez or France or Buehler or Canning, there's just not very much downside in any of these moves, bringing in these guys on major league minimum or minor league contracts. I don't see any downside in really all of it. So I think it was a really good weekend. They had needs, they needed depth, and they took care of quite a bit of that with what they did over the weekend. And obviously the big news with AJ Preller sticking around on a multi-year extension.
Well, let's start with the first move that happened. That was over the week, Saturday morning, a couple of moves. Now, the Padres 2 minutes ago have made official the Griffin Canning signing, so that is now official. No longer have to say it's reported. But Nick Castellanos, the first signing. Now, on Friday, Frank and I discussed it with everything circling with Nick Castellanos. I thought, maybe steer in a different direction unless he does XYZ. And XYZ was get him at a league minimum, have him buy in, hopefully he learned from what happened in Philadelphia. And hopefully he fits in with the clubhouse. And so far, Nick Castellanos checked all the right boxes. And if he continues on that path, I think this is a great pickup for the Padres because of the fact that you don't have to pay him. He doesn't have the leverage to do what he did in Philadelphia. And, it's got the Manny flair to it as well. He was childhood, I think friends, but he grew up around Manny in the same kind of area. So he's played with him for a long time. I think with all of those circumstances, it's honestly a perfect storm for Nick Castellanos to come in here and maybe be an impact this year in 2026.
And you could even see it on the backfield just a few minutes ago, taking live at bats. It was Castellanos, Manny, Sheets, a couple other guys in the same grouping, but Manny and Castellanos in that grouping, facing guys like JP Sears, Randy Vasquez, and you can just see the way they interact with their friends and they get along and they do have a relationship. So I don't think it's any coincidence that he showed up and his locker was right next to Manny's. It also happened to be an open locker at this time of year, which is hard to find in that major league clubhouse with all these non-roster invites and all the guys the Padres are signing. But Braden, I'm right there with you. I don't see a downside to it. I mean, the worst case scenario is that he doesn't hit. And if there are, any distractions clubhouse-wise, then he's on a minimum contract and, he's not around very long. But the upside there is this is a guy who, even though the numbers have declined the last few years, meanwhile, he hit 17 home runs last year. And if he can give you some slug and hit left-handed pitching, it's a benefit. They need it. So I saw no downside in it. And, I'll give him a lot of credit. He showed up the other day in front of the backdrop and spoke for the first time to the media. And I thought said all the right things. I really, really did, from what his role could be, the openness he has towards that, to what happened with Philadelphia and the incident in Miami and all of it. I mean, I thought he said all the right things, and so far so good in the first couple of days for Nick Castellanos.
I think so too. I think everything so far is trending in the right direction. Actions always speak louder than words, but so far, so good for Nick Castellanos in a Padres uniform. And on top of that, they added Griffin Canning. That deal just became official moments ago. It sounds like he might not be ready until May. Obviously, he's coming off the Achilles injury. What's the latest on Griffin Canning and how the Padres intend to use him on the roster this year?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he is throwing. He threw for teams, which I believe was part of the process in the Padres ultimately signing him. Sounds like it will be much like a Jason Adam right now, who also suffered a lower body injury. Canning suffered it earlier in the season, but it will be a bit of a slow play to make sure he's ready to go. He is throwing off a mound from what I understand, but obviously there's the component of having to move around. It was an Achilles. So I don't get the sense that this will be an opening day roster spot for Griffin Canning, but I think when you look at what he did for the Mets last year before getting hurt, he was very good, Braden. Really was. I mean, he was having a really nice season. So I think when he's ready, when he's healthy, is that May, is that June? We'll see when that is. But I think when he's ready, he has a chance to play a real role in this rotation. He was very good last year.
And a rotation that now has a lot of competition because they added more pitchers after they added Griffin Canning. Now, obviously, Griffin Canning probably not going to start on the opening day roster. Never know. But based on where the reports are, not until May, which means there's other spots out there. Now, Randy Vasquez was supposed to be and may still be the lead for the number 4 spot in the rotation. Number 5 spot is open, but they signed Germán Márquez, who was great in Colorado, and then he got hurt. Hasn't really been the same guy, but Bud Black, part of the organization, obviously knows Germán Márquez very well. So they bring him in on a major league deal. They also brought in Walker Buehler over the weekend. That was like the last move that they made over the weekend as well. So now you have Randy Vasquez, Germán Márquez, JP Sears, Matt Waldron, Miguel Mendez is on the 40-man roster in camp. Marco Gonzalez, who was added right before spring training. Tristan McKenzie, and they're all Walker Buehler, and they're all playing for maybe 2 spots max in the starting rotation. That's not even including Kyle Hart, who could be part of that conversation as well. And you look at it, and we've had the graphic. I'll throw it up there for you just so you can see. Anything in pink are guys that are out of options. Now, I don't know necessarily Walker Buehler might have. I don't know what the situation is on that, but you have a lot of competition for spots where you can't hoard guys down in the minor leagues. The starting rotation competition got really good in the span of the last 48 hours.
Yeah, it did. And again, I put these moves in the category when you talk about Germán Márquez, when you talk about Buehler. I put these moves in the category where there's just not a lot of downside. Now, obviously, Márquez is on a major league deal. I haven't even seen him yet, so I'm not going to assess whether I think he has the inside track to the final rotation spot, although you could make that argument based on his time in the major leagues and his contract. But what I thought was interesting is it started to make me think a little bit, and even, I didn't even really think about Randy Vasquez and his options and what that situation was entering spring. But then you go look at it, and to your point on that nice graphic, which Frank, I assume, excuse me, my throat is so dry from the Arizona air, which I assume Frank made. Did he make that?
No,
Frank?
I made that, actually.
Oh, you made that, Brady. Good for you.
Oh, thank you.
It's a nice graphic, but to your point, Randy Vasquez is out of options. And I asked Craig Stammen about it today, how that affects Randy, these guys getting signed, and seemingly the competition for these rotation spots really starting to get crowded. And the sense I got from Craig today was it doesn't affect Randy much. I still really feel like Randy's going to be in this rotation, and I think it's really going to be a battle for that fifth and final rotation spot. But, the bottom line is you can't have enough pitching. I mean, if you've got guys like Buehler and McKenzie and Marco Gonzalez, everybody in the mix, you know how this works. Typically, you need a lot of guys over the course of a season. So we'll see how it shakes out. But having more depth, I think, is ultimately a very good thing.
I think so, too. We're joined with Sam Levitt out in Peoria, Arizona, giving us his spring training updates. A lot to unpack from over the weekend, obviously. As mentioned before, we talked about the starting rotation. Bullpen still kind of like that as well. I mean, there's a lot of players that are battling for spots. We'll talk about that another time. But Ty France got added as well over the weekend. I mean, that's another bat that can be in the mix at first base, DH. I mean, so now you got Nick Castellanos, you got Gavin Sheets, you got Miguel Andujar, you got Ty France. There's 4 spots on the bench. One's going to be taken up probably by the backup catcher. What's Sung Moon Song's role now on this team? Is he guaranteed a spot with the sign that he had? And again, it opens up the door for more competition. Oh, by the way, we forget, or at least I forget, maybe you don't, Jose Miranda is part of this team as well. He is also part of the conversation.
He is.
But the competition, I think, is there. And the difference is it's not guys that are about to be 38, 39, 40 years old. These guys are in their young 30s battling for spots on a really good team.
Yeah.
Gotta love the competition.
Yeah, you know what? And just to build on your point of that, the minute they signed Castellanos, I saw, all the comparisons to, the moves for guys like Gurriel and Hayward last year. And I just don't put it in that category at all.
Different.
I mean, I think Castellanos, number one, is younger. Number two is it's still at a very different point in his career, to me, based on what he's done the last couple of years than those guys were. So I really push back on that this is kind of one of those signings. I think this is quite different. I really do. And look, with Ty France, he's going to have an opportunity. I think if he can be versatile positionally, like there was talk today about him obviously playing some first base, but also like, can you work him in at second? Can you work him in at third? Like, can he spell a Jake Cronenworth? Or could you have, if he's on the major league roster, a day where Cronenworth is playing first and France is playing second? Like, I think the more he can be versatile defensively will probably help him, but he's going to be in the mix. I mean, he's had good stretches in his major league career. Obviously, this is an organization and a place that is really familiar to him, which I think helps him. So we'll see. But I like it. They need depth all the way around. And these guys, whether it be France or who they added on the pitching side, it provides that. And I think Ty's going to have a good chance to be in the mix here for sure.
Let's talk about a couple other moves, obviously, and one of them was being A.J. Preller got his contract extension. We knew it was only a matter of time. Obviously, that's good news for the Padres organization, a lot more stability. They didn't announce the years as to A.J. Preller's discretion. But that being said, I think the best news out of this was, and because you were there filming all of this for our social media accounts, the players' reaction. I thought the players reacted like one of their teammates got a contract extension. You don't see that in a lot of areas in Major League Baseball. I don't think Bryce Harper, now who knows? I don't think Bryce Harper would do that with Dave Dombrowski right about now either.
What a difference, right?
I think it shows a big difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you brought that up. Somebody brought that up to me today, what Bryce Harper said over the weekend about Dave Dombrowski and the comments he made, and it really is a stark difference when you look at that situation and then you look at the way that guys talked about AJ, both in the lead up to the extension and then afterwards. I mean, to hear what Manny said, to hear what Tatis said, to hear what Jake Cronenworth said, look, I get it in the sense that they are guys who want to win, who don't, when you think about a team hanging around at the trade deadline, you don't think that guys like Manny and Tatis, that they love the fact that they can rely on a guy like AJ to go out and trade prospects and go get what they need. And he's not a guy who's going to blink at that at all and want to hang on to guys. Like, look, has AJ been perfect in his career? No, and no GM is. But the last couple of years, the work he's done, and I think especially the fact that undoubtedly he aggressively wants to win and win now. I think that's why you hear these guys talk about him the way they do. They know they've got a GM who clearly the way he operates is he wants to go for it and be aggressive and win now. And when I think you talk about the stars on this team. That's the kind of guy they want. You know, they don't want to be at July 30th and have a GM who, you know, is trying to build a system and is not going to move guys to help a team. And AJ over and over shows he'll do that.
Talking with Sam Levitt live from Peoria, Arizona, as we get to our spring training. Sam, we'll talk again with Sam on Thursday. Last thing for you. I mean, Eric Grouper and John Seiler met with the media. Too many questions, in my opinion, on the relocation of the Padres. They have said multiple times that a new owner is not going to move the team. What was your biggest takeaway from the John Seidler press conference and some of the things that he had to say about what a potential new owner could be? And for anybody that doesn't know, I mean, these guys get to, I mean, as much as they're negotiating with different contracts, they don't have to go with the people that offer the most. There might be a right fit that they like to buy their organization more than others. How is that laid out in some of these conversations that you have heard in these press conferences?
Yeah, look, I don't have any real inside information about the sale and the ownership, you know, potential ownership change. I will say, though, based on the press conference, I thought John Seidler did a nice job. I thought he answered the questions well. I did, and he's not going to be able to, you know, give you every piece of information you want. I agree with you. I you know, look, I look at San Diego and the amazing fan base and the support, and can't imagine that an owner would walk in here and make it his goal to move the team. So I don't worry about that. John Seidler, I thought, made it pretty clear that we should not worry about that. But look, I thought they did about as a good a job as they could of providing what information they could, explaining why, you know, AJ Preller was extended. And I thought John and both John Seidler and Eric Grutner did a good job laying out, you know, what they could about both the AJ situation and the potential sale as well.
Sam, good to talk to you. Hopefully you could not get dried out as much. It's hard. I
don't know what's going on.
Tough climate out there in Arizona.
I wasn't like this morning. I apologize. I'm like,
it's all right. It's the middle of the day.
Hydrate. I don't know what's going on.
What time is it? 1:17 over there right now.
Yeah,
it's like, you know what?
Time
right now like, either.
It's like when I go out on the backfields. This happens sometimes when I do these afternoon hits. It's like I'm super dry. I've got to figure it out. So
I got to ask you, what's your
shaky voice?
What's your take on ordering a menu item and then ordering it as it comes, and then they add ingredients you don't like without you asking to set a menu item? Are you in the right to be upset about that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I wouldn't give it back because that's not my personality to make a ruckus. I actually had a situation at a coffee shop in OB a handful of weeks ago where there was a whole bunch of confusion because I didn't want to give something back. But no, you got to look, especially today, everybody's got their own dietary restrictions and stuff. I wouldn't give it back. I'd be maybe a little upset if it was something I really didn't like, but I certainly would not give it back because I just wear it. Like,
that's what
I get the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about myself. Like, they could bring me the totally wrong thing at a restaurant, like the completely different dish, and in all likelihood, I'm not going to say anything. I'll be like, "Oh, thank you," and just stay like, "Oh, well, I guess this is what I'm eating today,"
and then never go back. And that's
and they'll give me the bill, and I can say the wrong thing. I'll be like, "Okay,
all right, cool.
This is
we'll not be seeing you next time."
You can make the argument that the restaurant would say, you know, "Hey, actually, you're not helping us because this was supposed to be somebody else's."
True.
But it is what it is.
I had that experience at a taco shop over the weekend, so that's why
I want to be invisible.
Yeah, I don't want to make a ruckus either. I didn't complete the burrito though because they added stuff to it that I don't like. That was not accounted for. But wanted to get your take. People were asking me in the chat what your go-to Mexican food place was, so I thought I'd bring that up. Do you have one in OB or like what's your local?
I like Nico's.
Okay.
I like Mike's Taco Club or Taco Shop.
That's like the one over PB, right?
I had a really good California burrito at Mike's, and that's right by the water in OB. I like Umberto's. Oh, I like Tacos El Gordo.
Yeah, that's a good spot.
I think the Adobada, I can't remember. Adobada. Yeah, I think those are like elite. Tacos El Gordo. I had great tacos in Tijuana few weeks ago with my guy Pedro Gutierrez down there. So it was a good winter of tacos for sure.
You ever go down there and get a Caesar salad, or
We went to Caesars. We went to Caesars. We went to Tacos El Frank.
Wow, you got the
We had a
world
wonderful
tour down
day.
in TJ. I love it.
Pedro and I, we had a wonderful day.
You know what?
Showing
Why,
me around
why have
Tijuana.
spring training Sammy when you can have Mexican food Sammy? You know what? That might have to be a bit moving forward. Sam, I know you got a lot of stuff you got to do. Thanks again for the time. We'll talk to you Thursday.
All right, guys. I appreciate it. See ya.
Sam Levitt giving us all the insights for a lot of things, including where the best tacos are. It's great.
That's just like me too, because that's why I wouldn't mind having a louder girlfriend, because someone needs to say my burger's cooked wrong, and it's not going to be me. So that's kind of like the perfect thing there.
I do exactly what Sebastian Maniscalco does. Salmon sucks. Let's get the bleep out. It's just, you don't tattletale in the restaurant. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't say their name. I'm not going to say it. But at the same time, if I go to a place and it's not, good, everything wasn't good, I'm not going to complain about it at the place. I don't need him spitting in my food. I just don't go back. There's no reason to go back ever again.
Speaking of which, you'd mentioned that the Griffin Canning signing had been completed. Because it was a major league signing,
they had to make a
Griffin
move.
Canning.
Correct.
They had to make a roster move, and Tirso Ornelas was that move. He has been DFA'd.
Not overly surprised by that.
No.
To be honest with you. Not overly surprised about that. All right, when we come back, there's some other stuff that we want to dive into here in this noon lunchtime hour at 12:35. Eric Newman, UCSD baseball coach, will join us. But we mentioned the John Seiler, Eric Grupner conversation with the media. We'll play some of the clips that they had from that when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97 to the Fan. All right, we got some updates on the Padres put out their, that's probably what they were waiting for. Griffin Canning officially signed today with the Padres, and in doing so, as we mentioned, Tirso Ornelas has been DFA'd. So Tirso Ornelas is no longer part of the equation. We'll see what happens. He could come back, clear waivers, come back, be a minor league player, all that stuff. But he's no longer on the 40-man. They had to make room for Griffin Canning. So Griffin Canning is on the 40-man roster, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he is. As well as Germán Márquez. They are both on the 40-man roster, which is that's a big step. Like being on the 40-man, you're going to get a little bit more leeway than somebody that's not on the 40-man, because in order to put somebody on the 40-man, you have to take somebody off, and then you have to put them through waivers. So interesting that Márquez got a major league deal. It's not interesting that Canning did. I understand why Canning got a major league deal. He probably deserves it. But are you surprised that Márquez got one over Walker Buehler? A little bit. I am a little
Yes
bit.
and
I'm a
no.
little bit. I mean, I get the whole connection with Bud Black, obviously. He's coming off of maybe they think they could fix him better, but like Walker Buehler's last couple of starts for Philly wasn't terrible.
No.
But he has had, I guess, more years of being bad after Tommy John than Germán Márquez. I find it to be very interesting.
I do too. And I think, it is a little bit more. And I also think the veteran presence helps with Germán Márquez as well. So, I mean, he hasn't been as good as Walker Buehler had been at his peak. But still, I believe, if I remember correctly, Germán Márquez has been in the league longer than Walker Buehler has. So I think that probably had a little bit to do with it as well. And then, I'd have to think the Bud Black link. And maybe you really wanted to try to get some guys in to fill that back end of the rotation, because maybe you're seeing over the last couple of days that maybe Waldron or McKenzie may not be able to get that job done. So you call in a guy like Germán Márquez, and that's how it gets done.
Márquez has been in the league 2 years longer than Walker Buehler has.
Okay, so not ridiculously longer, but it has been longer.
Well, and even that, he just has one of the years Walker Buehler was injured. So Buehler made his debut in 2017. Márquez made his debut in 2016. So it's only like a year difference between the two. But they're very similar in the sense that they both were very good out of the gate. They both had Tommy John surgery. They both have not been really the same since. The other factor, too, is Germán Márquez. I mean, you can use the Coors Field excuse maybe for a little bit. But some of the starts that Márquez had down the stretch were not Coors Field problems. They were just in general. I mean, he got roughed up here in San Diego a couple of times. Now, one of last year, but that was coming off of Tommy John surgery. He didn't pitch well. Padres roughed him up pretty bad. But we got some clarification on who's on the 40-man and who's got options left. Now, as of this list that they just put out, Walker Buehler is not on the list of teams of 0 options remaining, so he must have some. Ty France is not on there either, so we'll have to update our roster a little bit. I have to do it anyway because Tirso Ornelas is not part of the org anymore. You got DFA'd. But your 40-man roster is now set with 40 players. They had to take Tirso Ornelas off. And the 0 options remaining. Here are the players that don't have any options remaining in camp. Miguel Andujar, Luis Camposano, Logan Gillespie, Marco Gonzalez, Bryce Johnson, Ron Marinaccio, Tristan McKenzie, Jose Miranda, Nick Pivetta, Pablo Reyes, Nick Solak, Samad Taylor, Randy Vasquez, Matt Waldron. Kind of curious how some of these players with options and some not. So we'll update that graphic for you. Here's some things that were mentioned about at the John Seidler press conference yesterday. We're going to go on some of the ones about the sale and the team sale instead of the ones on AJ Preller. And the first thing asked of John at this press scrum yesterday was the update on the sale of the Padres and what the latest update was and where they're at with this particular deal and everything like that. So we're going to get to that in just a second, but we do need a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff when we come back. When we come back, we're going to have Eric Newman on, UC San Diego Tritons baseball coach. He's going to join us. They got a win. They got one against UCLA this weekend. It was number 1 in the country, according to a lot of polls. So we'll talk to him about the beginning of their season. They will be ready for the Tony Gwynn Legacy Tournament coming up this weekend at San Diego State. Should be a good one there. But after that interview, we're going to need a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. And if you take me on sports trivia, this week, you'll be qualified for a chance to win a pair of tickets to Zach Bryan at Snapdragon Stadium on July 31st. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We'll get to what John Seidler and Eric Rupner said in the 1 o'clock hour. We just ran out a little bit of time here, but when we come back, Eric Newman, UCSD, will tell us about their first weekend in college baseball, as college baseball is now a week into the season. We'll get to that when we come back. Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97 through the Fan. Be sure to stay tuned at 1 o'clock. We're going to announce today's biggest fan. We also need a contestant for a Midday Sports Standoff, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Giving away a chance to win tickets to Zach Bryan at Snapdragon Stadium on July 31st. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Well, this weekend we had college baseball officially underway. We talked with Brock Ungrich on Thursday of the University of San Diego. We talked to Kevin Vance on Friday at San Diego State. And now it's time to talk about UCSD and their head baseball coach in Eric Newman, who has been there now for a long time, and he has done a great job with the program, helping them transition into Division I. And also, over the weekend, didn't win the series, but did knock off the number one team in the country in UCLA at least once. Eric Newman joins us on the Braden Surprenant Show. Coach, what's going on? How'd your weekend go? How's everything going on a Tuesday?
Hey, thanks, Braden. Thanks for having me. Man, yeah, what a way to start. As I told our guys, we're going to find out really quick a lot about our team, and we did, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, they're a really, really good team. They've definitely earned their number one ranking, and I love the way our guys competed throughout the weekend, and getting the game on Sunday was a big boost for us.
That's always big, and when it comes to RPI and scheduling, Coach, to get at least one out of some of these series when you're going against top competition. I mean, the same thing with Tuesday nights in college baseball, especially in Southern California. But, it's tough to kind of gauge as a coach to see where your guys are at. You're going against really good competition this early in the season. But, what'd you like the most about the way your guys competed this weekend against UCLA?
Well, number one, I think the thing I liked the most was just the competitive spirit that we held on to throughout the entire weekend. I mean, Friday night we're up 3-0 in the third. We make a critical error and gave them some momentum and gave them an opportunity to get back in it. And like the number one team should do, they made us pay for it. Saturday, it's a 3-1 game in the eighth. It gets away from us a little bit at the end. We mounted a little bit of a rally in the ninth. And then Sunday, I felt like we were the more aggressive team or the aggressor in most of the game. And so that's just for me, what I liked the most was our competitive spirit, and we stayed together. Would have been really easy to show up on Sunday and go, hey, we gave them we took a couple good shots at them and then be down 4-3 in the eighth with their closer in the game. But our guys kept fighting. So that was the best thing for me. Saw a couple of really good performances individually, and those are good. Our first baseman, Gabe Camacho, La Costa Canyon kid, had a really, really good weekend. And I thought was one of the, if not, obviously they got a shortstop that they like a lot, and they got a couple All-Americans over there. I thought Gabe showed up just as productive and just as ready as anybody on the field that this last weekend.
We're talking with Eric Newman. He's the head baseball coach at the University of California, San Diego, UCSD. The Tritons, as they start their campaign, went 1-2 this weekend, but knocked off the number one team in the country in UCLA on Sunday. Now the turnaround is into the Tony Gwynn legacy. We talked to both Kevin Vance and Brock Ungrich. I mean, obviously, with Kevin being the head coach at the place that Tony went to school and coaches at, he has to, obviously put this thing on a little bit. Brock Ungrich, who played for Tony, talked about the importance of this. But how important is it for you at being one of the coaches here in town, one of the D1 coaches in town, to be a part of this Tony Gwynn Legacy tournament and to keep the thing going in honor of Tony Gwynn?
Yeah, I think it's really special, and I think it's really important for all of us to continue to do our best to keep this thing on a good trajectory. We would love to have this thing be a staple, I think, every single year and call it for college baseball, one, for the city of San Diego, and for Tony's legacy. It's just such an important thing to be a part of. So we're really fortunate. I'm really grateful that I get to be a part of it and that our program gets to be a part of it. As a member of the San Diego baseball community, it's really special. So we're looking forward to it. It's a good weekend. We got some good teams in town. All three places, USD, San Diego State, and Triton Ballpark will all have good games going on all weekend. So it'll be a great opportunity for those that like to watch college baseball to get out and catch some.
And we talked to both coaches, obviously, about their San Diego connections with the players here. I mean, it's such a hotbed for talent, but, for all of our listening audience that watched a lot of these kids play when they're in high school, who are some of the big San Diego names that represent UC San Diego now at the college level?
Yeah, I mentioned Gabe Camacho from La Costa Canyon. We have Liam O'Day and Addison Klepsch from Del Norte High School. Raphael Dunn was at Saints and Cathedral, your place early on. Evan Sonaris went to San Pasquale. I'm sure I'm forgetting a few. Our roster is comprised. We got quite a few San Diego kids on our roster, either now or coming. And in our incoming class has a ton of like 5 or 6 San Diego kids in it too. So we're really excited about the ability to recruit the highest talent here in San Diego and get them to play here and play great college baseball.
How have you watched this program grow? I mean, since you have taken over the program and seeing it go to Division I, I mean, in your first couple of years now, back at the Division I level as a coach, but also with this program, what are some of the things that you've seen that you're the most proud of when it comes to the Tritons being at a D1 level?
Yeah, I joke, Braden, with John Quintero a lot, but I think it must be my lot in life to be a Division II coach that takes a program to Division I, because this is my second go around. I did the same thing with Dallas Baptist way back in about 20 years ago, and so it's a lot of fun to do it. I mean, you're talking about a great institution here, right? UCSD, everybody knows the academic reputation and the footprint in San Diego. And just to have the ability now to compete at the highest level on the athletic side is a lot of fun. We had a ton of success here at the Division II level and some really good players that have come through. And now there's a lot of pride. I mean, our alumni were back in town a couple of weeks ago celebrating the program. We had a lot of alumni show up on Saturday at UCLA. And there's just a lot of pride and having this opportunity and being able to represent this institution on this stage in this city. So it's just been, it has been quite a ride. A lot of ups and downs. The challenges are real, but it's a lot of fun.
Got a pretty tough schedule too. We'll talk about the Big West in a second, but Cincinnati and the Big 12, you got to go on the road to Cincinnati. The Raging Cajuns are always a fun team to deal with. You got to go down to Louisiana for that, and then you got a couple of midweeks with tough competition here in Southern California, but Oregon it will be part of that as well. You went through a tough opponent already, but you guys aren't afraid of anybody at this point based on the schedule you guys put together. Talk to us a little bit about some of the challenges you guys get to face here as the season continues.
Yeah, you're right, Braden. I don't know if I was stupid or confident when I put the schedule together, but it's a great schedule. It's challenging us to get us ready for the Big West. I feel really good about our group. We got a ton of experience with this offensive group and the position player group coming back from last year. We got some good arms on the mound that we feel really good about. And at the end of the day, like, these are the teams you want to play against, right? I mean, you want to go play UCLA at UCLA. You want to measure yourself up against the best and see where you are as a coach. I think as a competitor, that's who you want to be. That's who you want to be on the field with, and it helps your program in every way. It helps the current players, helps incoming players, helps us as coaches recognize what we need to do. So like you said, like, it's not getting any easier. I can't wait to go to Lafayette. I've been there once as a coach. I can't wait for our guys to see, the crawfish and the shrimp and all the stuff like boiling over and the smoke piling onto the field from the barbecue. It's going to be awesome. So it's a lot of fun. And then going playing Cincinnati on the road. They came here last year. Good club, went to a regional. They're going to be even better this year. So it's going to be a lot of fun and a real challenge for us to elevate ourselves to a high level.
Yeah. Last thing for you, obviously the Big West, very good baseball conference, a very traditional baseball conference. I know you guys are in your final years of being in that conference before joining up with USD in the West Coast Conference. But, for a lot of the major schools and the big programs, big conferences always get a lot of love when it comes to regionals. But, every year the Big West usually does a lot of damage in the NCAA tournament. And it talks about how great baseball we have out here in California. I mean, there's really no days off every time you play anybody in the Big West Conference, Coach.
Yeah, you are so right. When you go back and you look at the history of the Big West, Cal State, Fullerton, Long Beach State, and more recently UC Irvine and UC Santa Barbara, these are programs that are going to Omaha. These are programs that are nationally ranked, 4 national championships, some unbelievable talent. I mean, you look at the list of big leaguers that played their college baseball in the Big West. It's really impressive. So you're right. There is not a single day that we walk in to anybody and go, hey, today's gonna be easy. It's never gonna be easy, and it is, like you said, a testament to the strength of baseball here on the West Coast. And hopefully, as this continues to grow, that continues to be seen by the committees and the things like that make the postseason stuff up. Because there's a lot of really good teams out here that are very deserving of that.
Coach, appreciate your time. Look forward to seeing you on February 24th when the Toreros roll into Triton Ballpark. We'll go down and say hi then.
Thanks, Braden. I appreciate it. Big fan of the show. You guys are doing great.
Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. Look forward to talking to you again, and good luck the rest of the way. Eric Newman joining us on the Braden Surprenant Show on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. I mean, the baseball here in town is good. The college baseball here in town is good. And for the next, month and a half before the Padres come back, you got a great opportunity to take your little leaguers and travel ball kids to watch some really good baseball and to see baseball played at a very high level in some of its purest form. I mean, college athletics has gotten crazy. College athletics has gotten incredibly, professional for a lot of different things. But when you look at college baseball, you got a lot of guys that are competing their ass off out there and playing really good baseball, fundamental, great baseball, especially out here on the West Coast. It's fun to watch. Your kids will fall in love with it. So we got all 3 teams in town this weekend as part of the Tony Gwynn Legacy Tournament. San Diego is hosting. San Diego State is hosting. UCSD is hosting. All hosting events throughout the county. Utah's in town. Creighton, BYU, Western Michigan. There's going to be Omaha's here. There's going to be a lot of, college baseball this weekend. It will give you a taste for the MLB coming up soon. So highly recommend coming out and seeing a lot of these local teams as they compete this weekend. Do we have a contestant for the Midday Sports Standoff?
We does.
Let's get to it.
Welcome to Midday Sports Standoff on the Braden Surprenant Show.
I can't believe what I'm seeing right now.
The ultimate head-to-head battle where sports knowledge and quick thinking collide.
No, it's no good. Are you kidding me?
Contestants will go toe-to-toe with Braden in a sports trivia deal where every correct answer brings them closer to victory.
Down the sideline! Wow! Unbelievable!
But 3 strikes and it's game over.
This is not Detroit, man. This is the Super Bowl.
Can you outsmart Braden? The Midday Sports Standoff starts now.
All right, Frankie, we got playing today.
We have Rodney in San Diego playing today. Rodney, how are you doing today?
I'm awesome. You guys are great. Appreciate getting the opportunity to take Braden down.
Well, we appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, thank you, Rodney. Let's try to get you tickets to Luke Bryan.
Absolutely. So
Zach Bryan, way different than Luke Bryan. Zach Bryan, way different than Luke Bryan. Not even close to being the same guy. Anyway, continue.
Okay. So today, per MGM,
here we go.
What are the top 10 teams that have the best odds to win the National League this year? So betting odds.
10, there's 16.
I know.
15
Stop.
In the league.
Will you
I just gotta pick
please?
all but 5.
Will you please, Rodney? Just
go ahead, Rodney. Let's go.
Do the thing.
Just don't pick the 5 worst teams.
Well, let's go ahead and start with number 1. I guess let's do the Dodgers.
Number 1.
The
Did you do that on
Dodgers.
purpose?
No. Again, no. You're annoying me.
What about
Dodgers?
the
Dodgers
Phillies?
have a plus 125 chance. Phillies have a plus 800 chance. Rodney.
I hate even saying the Dodgers to come out of my mouth.
I
but
know.
had to do that one, but yeah. How about the Atlanta Braves?
Braves are number 4 with a plus 850.
God, they love the Braves, don't they? Just every year.
Braden.
What about the Mets?
Mets are number 2 at plus 700.
Okay, this list is...
Rodney.
How about the Cubs?
Cubs are number 5 at a plus 950.
All right. Padres should be on there. If they're in the bottom 5, that's going to be rough.
Padres are number 6 at plus 1,500.
That's number 6? Interesting.
Rod.
Let's go. Now you're making me have to think. How about Milwaukee?
Milwaukee is number 7 at plus 1,600.
Arizona.
Arizona is number 9 at plus 3,500. Rodney, if you get this right, you guarantee at least a tie, which means you're qualified.
How about the Giants?
What?
Giants are not on the list.
But they won the trade deadline.
Again, this is teams that have the best chance at representing the National League in the World Series presented per MGM, BetMGM.
Cincinnati?
Cincinnati is number 8 at plus 2,000.
So, well, how many?
Rodney,
we
you
got
still have
number
a chance.
10? Is number 10 the last team?
Number 10 is the last team.
Number 10 is the last one. Let's see.
I can't believe
now you're making me have to really think now.
Don't have too much more time here.
I got you. Let's do. We already said. Let's do. God, can't even imagine. But how about the Pirates?
Not a bad guess.
The Pirates are number 10 on that list. Rodney, hang on the line.
Nice.
They are also at plus 35.
Is that all of them? Are we missing
yes,
any?
that is all of them.
That's all of them.
Wow.
Pirates. How about it? How about it? Top 10.
You guys are annoying.
Come on. Top 10 teams, the best odd out of 15 teams. You should have done all the teams. That just top 10.
I didn't know the other 5.
Hey, it's Scraby, and if you've never heard of a conscrabacy, then you need to tune into the Scraby Show weekdays from 6 to 7 p.m. I go down that rabbit hole and see what I can find behind it. It's conscrabacy season on 97.3 The Fan.
Hey guys, it is Woodsy here. It's that time of year. Your San Diego Padres are back in action in sunny Peoria, Arizona for another great year of spring training baseball. Food, fun, and autographs make the Peoria Sports Complex the place to be this spring. See all your Padre players up close while cheering them on to another great season. It's family fun for everyone in Peoria. Enjoy the best seats in baseball as your Padres gear up for another exciting season. Get your tickets at PeoriaBaseball.com right now. See you in Peoria.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Better Buzz Coffee just dropped their banana pudding best drink ever, and people are obsessed. Espresso, Vanilla Buzz, and dreamy banana pudding cold cream. Everyone's talking about it. Seriously. This drink is driving everyone bananas. Don't think, just go. Better Buzz Coffee.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together, like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Hot tub. Major manufacturers and warehouses clearance of new 2026 inventory. Friday through Sunday. Mission Valley Mall. Over 100 hot tubs on display and everything must go. New 2026 inventory. Hot tubs starting at $29.95. Full inventory 40 to 80% off. See the revolutionary swim spa in action and save up to 60%. Trade-ins welcome. Free delivery. We'll even haul away your old hot tub. Worry-free installation. 18-month interest-free financing. Millions of dollars of inventory must be sold. Mission Valley Mall in the Big White Tent. Free admission. Free parking. Call 833-SPA-SALE.
Hi, this is Dorothy Tran from Odyssey and Kixie. The first ever Vietnamese Heritage Celebration with the Padres is happening Tuesday, April 14th at Petco Park. Grab the exclusive Vietnamese Heritage hat and join the celebration. Thanks to Sin Lee Food. Search Vietnamese Heritage Night on Eventbrite for the culture.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/life. That's ethos.com/life. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Padres, Mariners, Cactus League Baseball on the Fan.
Gonna go! First pitch of the spring to Manny Machado.
Our coverage begins Friday at noon. The Padres play here on 97.3 The Fan.
KWFN and KWFN HD1 San Diego.
We try not to let things get too serious in the morning, except when we're talking about the Padres. Wake up with Ben and Woods, weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And Odyssey Sports Station.
Cheers to two.
Final hour of the Braden Surprenant Show for the day. We are going to have more content for you on the Braden Surprenant Show page later on tonight. Commercial break. With the commercial breaks, what we do, we also have extra content. We're going to talk about the goals. We're going to talk about the NHL, the NBA. We got extra content on Aztec basketball. We haven't even got to talk about the Aztecs. They play tonight against Grand Canyon. We'll have the Bubble Watch update for you on our Braden Surprenant Show page. We will have tons of stuff ready for you for extra content. Again, this is why you have to subscribe to the Braden Surprenant Show page. More than just the content. We're up to 753 subscribers. We'd like to get over 1,000. We appreciate you guys joining us. It's great. Love having you around with us. Again, if you haven't done so already, youtube.com/@B_SURP. We're going to have a bunch of different stuff coming out tonight on our Braden Surprenant Show page. So be sure to stay tuned to that. We'll have all our extra content up there. And again, if you missed any part of our show, you can go back and listen on the Odyssey app. You can watch on YouTube. You can also find us wherever you get your podcasts. It is time. It is time. No, not to give out a question that has 10 answers out of 15. No, it is time to announce today's biggest fan. Congratulations to today's biggest fan, Sean Hicks in San Marcos. Sean Hicks in San Marcos. Give us a call in the next 10 minutes. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973, and you'll qualify for our grand prize. 20 tickets for you and your friends for a night in our Odyssey Suite at a Padres game with all the fan staff later this season, catered by Spiro's Mediterranean Cuisine. Remember to register your name at 97tothefantasy.com/biggest fan. Sean Hicks in San Marcos. You got 10 minutes. Foul on Cole. Come on, man.
And by the way, for anyone who is interested in watching San Diego State baseball tonight instead of basketball, that has been postponed until tomorrow. So San Diego State baseball versus UC Irvine will be postponed until 6:35, I think it was, tomorrow night.
USD changed their game to 3 o'clock today, I think, against Long Beach State. I was never going to make it up there anyway. But you know what? Now now it's easier for me to just understand that I will never going to make the drive up to Long Beach before 3. I can't fly nor teleport. Do you want to get your phone calls, though? 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. Ron in La Mesa. You're on the Braden Surprenant Show. What's going on, Ron?
Well, boys, it's welcome to a new week. And I got to tell you right now, if your college team ends up on the morning shows, don't do this. It's not going to be a real good week.
No, it's not.
Basketball coach gets fired and for cause. And tell you what, Braden, you know the Big 12. I don't blame the guy. I'd get up on the podium and call out every one of his players too. And I don't know, it's a mess. But yeah, no, it's not a good week, except for the fact that the Padres, I love their moves, Braden. I really think that they've got a crop of guys, like you all said, we're much better off this year than we were last year. And to be quite honest with you, Braden, I'm not so sure they're not done yet. I think by bringing some of these guys in, that opens the door for a trade. I mean, there's a couple guys in the bullpen, and you know what? I know Randy Vasquez has got options, but I could see packaging him and a couple other guys for a good frontline starting pitcher. Anyway, that's, pray for me for the rest of the week, guys. I'm going to go and get my putter regripped. Talk to you later.
I'll talk to you later, Ron. Yeah, the Jerome Tang situation. Did you see that?
I did not see that, no.
They've been awful this year. They have been awful. Still gave the Frogs a run because, that I digress. They've been awful. And he basically, he went out in the media after their last loss. They're like 1-11 in Big 12 play. He went to the media and he said, none of these guys deserve to wear this jersey. They don't play hard enough. They don't deserve to be they don't deserve to represent Kansas State and all this other stuff. And then Kansas State used that as an excuse to fire him for cause. So they didn't have to pay him $18 million because they wanted to get rid of him because he wasn't having a good year. He took him to the Elite Eight in his first year. They've been worse since. But honestly, like what he said, I'm not that upset about. I mean, you want to be treated like a pro?
Yeah,
you get treated like a pro. I mean, you want to be a pro, you want to make money. You're going to get criticized in the media by your own coach. Is it the right way to do things? I don't necessarily know. But if you're not trying and you come up, I mean, you have played so poorly that your coach says you don't deserve, based on effort, to even represent the university or wear a Kansas State Wildcat uniform, and that gets you fired for cause. I mean, what are we even doing?
That's a soft school, is what that is.
K-State saw an opportunity to potentially get rid of their coach and not have to pay for it because they didn't want him around anymore and they didn't want to pay the $18 million he's owed on the contract buyout. And he is lawyered up for it. So we'll see what happens. I don't really see him at fault here. Maybe I see things differently. I just don't see it. I mean, that was the same thing with, who did I send? I sent you one coach clip from earlier.
Yeah, I think it was the UAB.
Is that who it was?
Coach, I believe.
The Blazers coach?
Yeah.
Yeah, he goes, this is what his quote was. These are college scholarship players that are making more money than most of us in this room. Is it too much to ask for you to make a layup? I mean, we're in bozo land, man.
Yeah, that was from Andy Kennedy at UAB.
Yeah, talking about going 10 of 22 on layups, and it's lost to Tulane. You want to be a pro? this is what being a pro is like. You don't perform. People say mean things about you. You can't pull the oh, he's a kid. You can't pull that anymore when he's making hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, you can't. That doesn't work anymore. I don't feel bad for these kids. You want to be a pro? This is what it's like being a pro. Sorry. You don't like it? Go play junior college basketball. Go play in a league where they do that still. I don't know what leagues those are anymore, but you can't sit there and be like, I want to be a pro with all the benefits and I don't want any of the consequences of being a pro. You can't. It doesn't go like that.
What's your take on all turf baseball fields?
Out.
Okay. Did you see what happened to the kid from Seton Hall?
I did see that. That was graphic.
Awful.
That was kind of a fluke, though. Is that because it was on turf?
Yeah, the whole field's turf.
I know, but
I would have to.
You can't assume. I mean, the guy's leg snapped.
Yeah.
When he jumped.
Yeah.
When
he landed.
I know, but Kevin Ware had that injury happen too, just by taking a jump shot. Was it the synthetic courts that they were playing on? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, you could, for me at least, I put 2 and 2 together. I say, well, cleats into turf. I've seen injuries like that on grass, though. I mean, that's it to me that you have the argument on the turf injuries with ligaments and stuff. Like his leg snapped. It was very graphic on the home run for sure. I don't as a player, it's nice to play infield on turf. You get a lot of true hops. As an outfielder, you get some wicked hops that go over your head on some high bounces. But anyway, and then the other thing too is teams that aren't used to playing on turf, if they go play on turf, they always overslide the bags. Yeah, that's
always get called out. 833-288-973, 833-288-973. Let's get out to Tim in Miramar. Tim, what's going on, man?
Hey guys, hey, burritos are a tricky thing, Braden. Yeah,
they are.
We all got our favorite shops, but what they did to you, man, that sounds like an egregious foul.
That's a foul. I agree. Tim, you know what, Tim? It's a tech for sure. It might be a flagrant too at this point, but we'll find out. My girlfriend says otherwise. She says I still have to go to that place, so I don't necessarily know if I have a say in the matter, Tim.
I don't know. Could be a fine or a suspension coming. I don't know.
Hey, that's true. Egregious. What do you got for us on Padres baseball?
Moving on to the Pods. Totally agree. This team is definitely set up so much better going into this season than they were last year. On paper. No excuses. They filled in the holes where they needed to. They've done a great job, and they got weeks to go to figure out which 26 are going to make the team. A couple of points, if I may. One, right now, Mason McCoy's not making the 26. They do not have a backup shortstop. I don't know who that's going to be, but right now they don't have one, and it's not Cronenworth. That just moves too many things around. So I think they got to figure that out. First base, they didn't really have a backup first baseman, but they got a lot of guys, and France is a heck of a defensive first baseman. And then my last point, you had said something to the effect that Tatis was hugging Preller and said he's going to get us. He's the guy that's going to get us to the World Series or win a World Series. Is that what Tatis said? Something to that effect?
Tatis said that if anybody could do it, it's him, basically. Well, along the lines of what he said.
He's got that all wrong. Okay. The last time I checked, Preller has not taken any ABs. So the guys that are going to get this team to the World Series are Tatis, Machado, and the rest of these core players. Merrill, Cronenworth. Those are the guys. They filled in the holes excellently, and if these guys don't perform better than they did last year, they can all have better seasons, and that's what they're going to need in order to move on, get to the playoffs, and move on in the playoffs past where they've been. The core players, i.e. Tatis, Machado, Merrill, Cronenworth, and Bogarts. Those are the guys that got to play better, and then we got a heck of a chance. And I don't miss Schulte one bit. So far, what I've heard from Stamen, I like. He's the wild card in this, but still, the core players, and we're moving on. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate the phone call. I mean, they could move some pieces around, too. I mean, like Adam in the chat, Adam said, I mean, you could have Manny play shortstop. He'd probably be okay. Manny's one of the best defensive players in the game, period.
That's where he came up.
Yeah,
He was a
you
shortstop
can move
when he
Sung Moon
started.
Song to third base. You can move Ty France to third base. I mean, you can move things around if you absolutely need to. But if there's an injury, what's going to happen is Mason McCoy is just going to get pulled up. He has options. You can option him down to El Paso. You can option Will Wagner down to El Paso as well. I mean, these are guys that have options still. You can make things happen with the position players a lot more right now than the pitching staff. And what I mean by that is, you could, like, I think having Bryce Johnson as a backup is key in the outfield. I really do. I think it's key. But because I think you need a defensive replacement back there just in case. You have a really good defensive outfield as it is. I don't know, is Bryce Johnson going to get picked up if he's on waivers? He might. Who knows? But I like him having some speed on the bench. Like, if you decided to not have Bryce Johnson make the team and you have Ty France make the team, you got a lot of guys on the bench, Frank, that kind of do the same thing. Corner infielders on the team to hit, not necessarily field too much, not necessarily there to run the bases. Like, who's your pinch runner? Sung Moon Song? Maybe.
Probably, yeah. If it's not going to be Bryce Johnson, it'd probably be Sung Moon Song. And I'm not sure about his quality at running the bases just because we
haven't watched him play. We haven't seen him play a game at the major league level. I mean, he's played in Korea. So you look at a guy like Sung Moon Song. I mean, the conversation was about easing him into it. Are you going to ease him into it playing AAA? I mean, there's clauses of contracts that say that he doesn't have to go down there. Like some players sign contracts like that. I don't know if the details are in Sung Moon Song's contract for that, but he's another name now that I think, there's two names on this team that I thought that you would think going into spring training were, shoo-ins for spots. Sung Moon Song was one, and the other one was Vandy Vasquez. And right now, I think they're getting put into competition. I really do. I mean, we don't have Blake Hunt on that sheet because I don't see a situation where Blake Hunt's making the backup catching spot, where he plays so well that it's enough to cut Luis Camposano. But I feel like the position player battles out there, Frank, are less. They're more cut and dry. They're less finagling that has to go on, as you have with the starting staff and the bullpen.
Yeah, and again, I mean, you have Miguel Andujar looking at the list. We'll throw it up on screen here again.
Tirso Ornelas got DFA. I'm working on trying to fix it.
We haven't. This is what we had at the beginning of the day, not since the Padres have updated this. You have Miguel Andujar as a first base. He is more of an outfielder now. He started his career as a third baseman, and he's been playing primarily left field ever since. Now, I understand with the situation the Padres have, they may force him into playing first base, but I would consider if Bryce Johnson is the guy that goes down, my thought would be that they're thinking of Miguel Andujar as the outfield backup.
Well, they're giving reps to Sung Moon Song in the outfield, and Andujar has played in the outfield. I mean, Nick Castellanos has played in the outfield. Out of the group, I think they're really hoping that Sung Moon Song can play in the outfield.
Probably,
I really do. Yeah. Because out of the group, Andujar is not that great of a fielder. Nick Castellanos is not that great of a fielder. You're not going to throw. I mean, I know Gavin Sheets is an outfielder, but he's not a fourth outfielder. I mean, there's a reason why all these guys are getting reps at first, Frank. It's because they don't want them to play in the outfield. They don't necessarily want to play in the outfield. So to me, it's like, if they could get Sung Moon Song enough reps in the outfield, maybe Ty France makes the team. I mean, we haven't talked about Jose Miranda yet either. I mean, that guy's got to have to try to battle his way onto this team as well. But you have your utility guy in Sung Moon Song. Miguel Andujar is going to be the guy that's on the team to hit lefties. Nick Castellanos is on the team to be a DH if he can hit. Luis Camposano is your backup catcher. Gavin Sheets might platoon at first base, it might sound like. And it's going to come down to, I think, like Bryce Johnson as a fourth outfielder, or a guy like Ty France, and then Sung Moon Song is your fourth outfielder. Okay. I mean, these are the kind of conversations you have to have.
Like I said, chat, we love you guys, and we really appreciate if you guys don't derail the show for like breaking
Why are
news
you
that comes up.
acknowledging that? Why are you acknowledging that?
Because it's entertaining. That's why.
Stop it. No, it's not.
Move,
You're entertained by this?
move Andujar to left field.
Come on, brother.
Trade Ramon, Sheets, Bradley, Salas, and our second prospect for Bryce Harper.
Whoever the second prospect is, I don't know. Just ship him off.
He's hating the Philly. He's hating Philly after their owner called him not elite. Castellanos locks in as designated hitter.
Nice. I see no problems with this.
There is.
You know what? I think the Phillies would love to do this.
I don't know what. I don't know what world that would happen in. Like, I mean, if you believe that there are alternate realities, what alternate reality?
I can't believe that we're
happen in?
actually taking time to answer that. All right, we got to get an update on the ownership stuff. I don't know how many times they had to ask John Seidler about the team moving. I thought that was a gigantic waste of time. He mentions that the team's not moving if they sell the team. What's the latest on the information about a team sale? We will hear what John Seidler and Eric Krupner had to say when we come back at the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97 to the Fan. 123. God, the rain last night. Loud.
For someone who likes to fall asleep to the sound of rain, it was very, very nice.
It was, it got loud last night. Thunder in my area of San Diego. I usually don't wake up to that stuff in the middle of the night, but I did. I was like Texas loud. But need the rain. It's great. It's not supposed to rain till like later on tonight, I think. It's the latest update. For 4 days of straight rain, you know what? San Diego does it best. We had actual sunshine in between today. It's great news. He's Frank Marchese. I'm Braden Surprenant. It's the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3. The Fan, we're broadcasting live from the Bill House Studios. We know how. We're going to talk about Aztecs basketball in just a little bit. They got a big game tonight against Grand Canyon. But what's the latest on the ownership deal with the San Diego Padres? I'll give Frank some time to pull up the video real quick. But John Seidler and Aaron Krupner yesterday met with the media in Peoria, like they always do at spring training. And so a lot of the questions, of course, were about update on the sale and will the team move on the new sale, which I think it's just a waste of a question. I mean, even when they asked John Seidler this twice yesterday. They asked him about it, like, is the new ownership group are they gonna move the team? No, they're not gonna move the team. And then they followed up about it and they asked him again. And then after him saying no twice, and by the way, just from a money standpoint, it would make zero sense to actually do that thing. People are still hard set on like, they're gonna move, they're not moving. You understand? How, you know what? I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let John Seidler talk about this stuff for a second, and then I'll talk about how stupid it would be for an owner to come in, buy the team, and then spend almost double the amount to move said team. Let's start with the latest update on the sale. Okay, John Seidler had his latest update on the sale of the Padres, kind of the process. I mean, obviously they're ongoing conversations and negotiations, so can't probably get into the details. But here's what John Seidler had to say about the update on the team potentially selling.
BDT and MSD partners are the club's advisors in the sale process. They're conducting a robust process. We've had tremendous interest. There has been interest. Some parties have been reported in the press, others have not. There are more parties interested than has been reported. Process like this, like AJ likes to say, every offseason is different and plays out in its own timing. Sales process also plays out in its own timing. And over the next few months, the process will come to a logical conclusion. BDT and
the interesting part about that piece was there's a lot of names in there that have not been released to the press. I mean, there's a lot of other entities out there. You know, maybe it's some team owner that you want to buy the team that might have put an offer in, or not put an offer in, but at least talked about it or has been in contact with the Seidler family. We'll see how that plays out. But again, let's play the. I just have to have him say it just so we don't have to say it all the time. But John Seidler confirmed that the San Diego Padres will not be relocated. They asked him about it a couple of times. Here's the first time that they asked him, and here's his response.
John, can you say whether or not the contingency of the sale of the team will be long-term stability for the Padres in San Diego?
The Padres are moving from San Diego.
John, can you say whether or not...
Oh, no surprise on who asked that question.
I'm going to make that a drop. So this way we don't have to keep saying it.
I don't know. What did he say, John? Bang. I mean, they're not going to move the team. Did you hear who asked that question?
Do
you know who that is?
No, I do not.
That's the person that wrote the article the first time. What was the follow-up? I mean, they asked him again to expand on the Padres not being relocated, and here's what John Seidler said. No, it was not AC asking the question.
Hold on.
I mean, I just...
Like, I don't understand how many more times someone has to say something before you finally get it through your thick skull. And I'm sure my parents are probably asking the same question right now as I say that.
Pick the top 10 of this 15 group. Foul.
Just to clarify, you say the Padres not leaving San Diego. Is that going to be written into a sale contract? The team has to stay for a certain number of years?
I can't speak as to any details as to what may or may not be negotiated with an ultimate buyer. But if you look, a new buyer would be nuts to move the team out of San Diego with the second highest attendance in all of baseball last year. We've been in the top 5 for the last 5 or 6 seasons. San Diego is a great place for baseball. Baseball is the only major sport in San Diego right now. So the opportunity is in San Diego, not elsewhere.
That's like the whole point of the draw, too. That's like just the entire point. Did you see Eric Griffner's face?
The look on...
He was like, what?
I was looking at
Derek.
Seidler's face.
Well, I was looking at Eric Griffner's face, and on the thing, he's just like looking like, I can't believe he asked, like, Derek, my guy. Like Derek. Derek, why are we...
Like, I mean,
he's not going to say, even if there was, he can't say it with the contract.
I was looking at John's face, and it's like, wait, you're asking me again? What part of the team is not relocating?
They're not going
Did
anywhere.
we not understand? And we're trying to add in the caveat of, are there, like, it can't be moved for X amount of years? They're not going anywhere, dude.
It doesn't make any sense. John says that. It doesn't make any sense. Now think about this. If you just start thinking about the like just from a business side of like what you would try to accomplish here. Again, it's different. We've talked about this before. I don't want to spend too much time on it. But this team is expected to what? They're projected to potentially get $3 billion for the sale of this team, right? That's the number we saw. Like, that's kind of where the family, it sounds like from reports, that's kind of where the Padres' current ownership wants to sell the team for. Around $3 billion, give or take. Who cares, right? Okay, so they got to spend the $3 billion to buy the team. And then they would have to spend an additional $1 billion probably in relocation fees, because Dennis Lin and Kevin Acee and AJ Cassaville have asked people around Major League Baseball about the team. They're like, they would never do that. We wouldn't do this. So they would have to spend the $3 billion on the team, then $1 billion on a relocation fee. The only place he would relocate to is a place that currently does not. Are there any baseball stadiums out there that are up to par with Petco Park that somebody could just easily move into, Frank? I don't think so, which means you got to build your own. And how much are stadiums going for now? $2 billion?
Yeah.
Probably north of that now, $3 billion. So you seriously think that somebody is going to buy a team for $3 billion and then pay an additional $1 billion to move said team, to then build another stadium on its own that's going to cost you an additional $3 billion, in which you're spending almost $7 to $8 billion to move a team to a city, and then you think that team is going to make you more money somehow? It doesn't make any logical sense. Like, the more you think about it, billionaires and people that can buy sports franchises made money by not burning it, by not taking it and setting it on fire like in The Dark Knight. I mean, seriously, they're not going anywhere.
Can we please, finally now, we've heard it from the horse's mouth multiple times.
They're not moving.
Can we finally please put this ridiculous, stupid, this is a slow day, I need something to write about article? Can we put it to bed now, please? Finally. They're not going anywhere. The one guy that you needed to hear it from right now, the owner.
You know what?
The guy who's in control of the team, the guy who's in control of selling the team right now just said it twice.
Fair enough. You know what? If that was the last thing holding, I don't want to hear it anymore. I mean, now everybody has said it. I mean, the reporters have said it. The owners have said it. We've heard multiple people in the organization say it. I don't hear it anymore. It's just they're not going anywhere. You know this, we put this up, this little thing, what's that at the bottom?
Weekdays from 10 to 2.
No, below that.
Oh, that would be a windsock on the street.
And then it's no, don't be a windsock. Windsock play. By thinking that that's going to be the case. Okay, so I'm glad we put that to rest. Now, the last thing, which I find interesting, John Seiler talked about what qualities he'd like to see in the team's next owner. And this is what he said.
To see what everybody would like to see. We would like to see somebody with ties to San Diego, a deep love of San Diego, and a deep love of baseball. So they can continue doing the work that we do in the community and providing the product on the field that the fans enjoy.
Nah, pretty simple. I mean, that's probably what they're going to look for. Not overly. I don't think they're going to. The thing is, I mentioned this before, in terms of potential candidates of people that can actually afford to buy the Padres, they're probably going to fit that criteria at this point. I mean, it's too much money for them to be. It's different than the other situations that we're having. I think it just shows you how much the Chargers have scarred this city. I really do. Or the Clippers, or the Rockets, I guess, at this point in time. 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We'll talk about the Padres roster one more time and get you ready for Aztecs basketball as they're back in first place, tied with Utah State, but still have a couple of challenges in the way before they host the Aggies. We'll talk about it, including their game tonight when we come back on the Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego Sports Station 97.3 The Fan.
The Padres are moving from San Diego.
Quinn and
Final segment, Braden Surprenant Show, San Diego One Sports Station 97.3 The Fan. Appreciate all you guys joining us today. Lots of Padres talk on the show today. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to our page at B_SURP on YouTube, youtube.com/@B_SURP. We post a lot more content. We're going to have some interesting content on Chucky Lozano posted on there later on tonight. You guys see the news? I mean, they had an article about his brother, Brian Lozano. He does not have a lot of good things to say about Chucky, let me tell you. He's definitely on. It seems like he's on the side of San Diego FC with this entire matter. We'll talk about that on YouTube at B_SURP. We have tons of content on there. All of our interviews with Drake go on there when we recap soccer. We have content on the NBA, the NHL, just so much extra content for sports that we don't get to during our 4 hours that we try to play for you on YouTube in between commercial breaks. But if you want to see extra content, we have it for you at the Braden Surprenant Show YouTube page at B_SURP. Also, to access it, 97.3 The Fan on YouTube. If you pull the main site up, scroll down to our shows, and they'll have the logos of all the shows here at 97.3 The Fan. They have a subscribe button. Click the subscribe button right underneath it. It's awesome. It sets it. You could subscribe to Ben and Woods, the Braden Surprenant Show page, Gwen and Chris, and then all of our content. Instead of having to go find it on YouTube, it's just right there as soon as you pull up YouTube. It's great. Be sure to subscribe to us. It's free to do. You're basically just giving us a like or, giving us a follow. It's how you're doing on YouTube. We appreciate that. We try to get you some extra content on there, and we will have more content as spring training continues. We got a lot more to discuss when it comes to the Padres. And again, just kind of to wrap this up after day one of this conversation, because here's the thing. Nothing is really going to change, Frank, until they start playing games. And when do they start playing games? Friday.
Yeah.
And even the first one, you're going to have one at bat for some of the good players. I mean, not all of them are going to play. You're not going to have your opening day roster ready to go. It's going to ease into it. You're going to see a lot of this. We will be airing the game on Friday, which is great. First chance at Padres baseball. We're going to have it on the airwaves on 97.3 The Fan. You get to hear Jesse again. You get to hear Tony again. That game will start at noon Pacific time as they take on the Mariners for their annual game that they have out in Peoria. It's always the first game, the two teams that share the complex. And it'll begin the quest for the brand new TVs if you come in first in the Cactus League. So we'll see if the Padres could do it this year. They've been close in the past, but I don't know who won the TVs last year. I don't remember.
I don't know.
Who won the Cactus League last year? I always like looking back at the Cactus League standings, after what the results were. Wow. You know what? Not only did they win the trade deadline, they also won the televisions for coming in first place in the Cactus League.
Giants went 21-6-4.
And 4 ties.
Some reports indicate 19-6-5.
MLB.com's got them at 21-6. I'm going to go with that.
That's fair.
Kansas City Royals, second best team in the Cactus League last year, 20-12.
Lovely.
Yeah. Dodgers 14-9. All right. Well, they made the playoffs. Chicago 12-9. They made the playoffs. Arizona went 17-14. Oaklamento 17-14. You want to tell me who came in last? Cactus League? Seattle. They went 11-19. They had a pretty good year. Angels and White Sox also came in last. 11-19, 11-18. Padres went 12-17. Finished 10 games out of first place. We got to get the better numbers here. Who won the Grapefruit League? You know what? Maybe it's a sign of the times.
75 inches. That's the number, the size of the television. That's what we need.
Guys, it's the only thing that gets cheaper in this world are televisions. You tell me these guys can't buy their own TVs? We still got to give these away as a championship gift? Grapefruit League champion was the Blue Jays.
Yes.
Maybe they were on to something.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe they were on to something. Astros came in second, 2 games back. Red Sox, Phillies, Yankees, Braves, and then there's the Mets.
By the way,
perfect 13-13, a little 500 mark there for you.
Just the thing that I always remind myself when it comes to like spring training and preseason results.
I can't wait for the overreactions to at bats and stuff.
It's going to be fantastic. Just remember, the year that the Detroit Lions went winless, they were 4-0 in preseason.
I mean, hadn't like the Ravens had a streak of they had never lost like a home preseason game and like, or they hadn't lost a preseason game in like 30 years, like whatever it was.
I'm not sure.
There was like some long streak for the preseason for the Baltimore Ravens that they were just dominating.
But yeah, the winless Detroit Lions went undefeated in preseason the same year.
Oh, dang it. I hit the wrong thing. I said preseason record and I messed up and I hit schedule first. Baltimore Ravens, I thought they set a record.
This video, by the way, still has not downloaded. It's been an hour.
Oh, here it is. The Baltimore Ravens won 24 straight preseason games.
Wow.
From August 11th, 2016 on to whenever it was, I guess 24 straight of those. I mean, they posted pictures of every single one with ads. I don't want to click through all of them on the Ravens website, but
I'm pretty sure
it was just like recently that they lost their first preseason game.
I'm pretty sure asking for Go Aztecs. I believe they're doing the same thing they did last year, which is the preseason games were all the spring training games were all on Padres.tv, but only some were going to be broadcasted by us, I think is kind of the deal.
Oh, they put out a release on Padres.com where they have the broadcast schedule for spring training.
Oh, there you go.
And I think they do a lot of the webcasts.
Yeah, it's
on Padres.com.
Yeah, only.
Which is free. Yeah, the Ravens won 24 straight preseason games from 2016 to 2023. The last preseason game they won during that stretch, they beat the Eagles in 2023, 20-19. How about that?
E-L-G-L-E-S, Eagles!
Giants fans will say Harbaugh is a loser if he doesn't go undefeated in the upcoming preseason. You know what, Frank? I think take note of that.
They will not.
And then say it yourself.
No.
You got to say it.
We're calling the poll.
Oh,
now.
Yeah. It's probably way over at this point.
Are the Padres better right now than they were a year ago? On the 97.3 account, 182 votes. So thank you very much for your participation.
Thank you. We really appreciate it.
93-7. I want to know who the 7% are.
I'm going to end it on the Braden Surprenant Show page, 91% to 9%.
How many votes did you get?
69.
Nice.
I knew that was coming. So there's that. Aztecs are in action tonight. We didn't get to talk about the Aztecs too much today. We're going to give a bubble update on where everything stands with San Diego State basketball that we'll play during the commercial breaks this week on YouTube. But since we do have a short week, go to the YouTube page, subscribe to the YouTube page, and be able to access all of the content that we put out there on YouTube. We're going to record some of it at the end of the show. We'll talk about the bubble update for the San Diego State Aztecs. I mean, where they're at right now compared to where other teams are at. Did you see? I saw this. Do you know there's a website that ranks all the bracketologists? Because of course there is.
There's someone out there who knows how to draw a little bit better than somebody else.
Joe Lenardi's ranked 125 out of 160 bracketologists. So maybe don't. And it's like based on how accurate they've been in the past. So maybe we shouldn't say what his bracket is. He ranks 125. He actually gets paid to do it, unlike everybody else that just does it for fun. I got to start putting out brackets, dude. I started doing it the other night. I was like, this ain't going to be that hard. Oh, look, it's like slightly better than Joe Lenardi's. I mean, really?
There's always somebody out there who has.
There is a website that ranks bracketologists. That I was new. That information was new to me.
I want to know who has.
Here it is. It's called the Bracket Project. Go to the Bracket Project.
Brother has too much time on his hands.
The Bracket Project is a website that ranks all the bracketologists. The Bracket Project. They got a matrix for it, too. They got their ranking.
Yeah, I'm seeing the 2026 bracket matrix.
They have their, so go to rankings on the website, and it will tell you the 5-year bracket matrix rankings on all of the people that do it online. Yeah, they got the T3 bracketology, which I've seen a handful of times, the Pirate ratings, JS bracketology, Kyle Foster's bracketology, top 20 and picking the tournament. Bucky's bracket at number 37. Jabe's blog at 54. And then all the way down at 125, ESPN bracketology, Joe Lenardi. There are 186 of these. That's amazing.
To the person who has this website, grass can't hurt you.
It's crazy that this exists.
The sun cannot hurt you.
So you know what they do on this website? They make the matrix. They basically take everybody's bracket and do it like an AP poll and then fill it out. According to the bracketmatrix.com, the Aztecs, they got to be in this thing. They currently have an 11 seed with Santa Clara. It'd be like one of the last 4 teams in, according to all. If you took all 185 brackets, prediction sites, and you put them all into one, the Aztecs are reportedly one of the final 4 teams in. Last 4 in. TCU, first 4 out. I don't like this already. Bunch of crap. All fake.
Where's Hofstra? Hold on.
There's no way they're going to be on there.
Other automatic
They'd
qualifiers.
be an automatic qualifier.
They're actually right above UC San Diego on automatic qualifiers.
UCSD. Potential automatic qualifier.
Hey, listen. Hey, Hofstra got on 3 brackets.
Wow.
Hofstra got on 3 brackets. Let's go, Pride.
See, the thing is like ESPN, like Joe Lenardi not being very good at this, according to this website. I mean, whatever. I don't mind Joe Lenardi's brackets. It gives me a general idea. For some reason, ESPN's got the most clout on here for number 1.
College Football News. I like them. I like them now.
See, this is like going through the AP voters, and you're like, all right, who voted for us and who didn't? When
Roto.
Reddit posted,
I'm guessing I like Roto now. That's a thing.
Hofstra was on 3 brackets.
And I like, who else do I like here? There's one more I like now. Frank, I like me.
Is that your own?
No.
The Frank Marchese bracket?
Frankatology. No.
Frankatology? Is that what it's called?
Yes. I'm on the website right now.
Oh my God. There's too many of these.
There it is. If you can see it, if you can see it on YouTube. There it is.
I need Chris Ella's opinion on the bracket matrix. What kind of old man yells at clouds is Chris Ella going to tell me when I tell him there's a website that ranks all the bracketologists in the country?
I'm going to say doing us train lovers a bad name.
Oh my God, dude. That's amazing. I love it. Yeah. TCU's got UCF tonight. I'm going to sweat that one out before I sweat out the Aztec game as they got Grand Canyon. I knew I was going to preview it. We don't have time at this point. Aztecs in action today. Is that the men? So men are waiting for Sweden and Latvia to finish?
Yes. Sweden. They're in the second intermission. Sweden right now has a 3-1 lead over Latvia.
We will talk about the Aztecs tomorrow after their hopefully victory against Grand Canyon tonight at home at Viejas Arena. We'll keep you posted on what's going on in the Padres land. Stay tuned to our Braden Surprenant Show YouTube page. We'll be posting stuff later tonight for extra content. Gwen and Chris coming up next. San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Padres, Mariners, Cactus League Baseball on the Fan.
Gonna go! First